Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. Let's see what the market's going to be like tomorrow. It's been a little choppy lately, up and down, all over the place, but we have to find out what's going to be popping, what looks good, and what the market wants to do. But first, all information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. How is everybody tonight? That was the heat map right there. AVGO was popping up there. NVIDIA just kind of went flat today. Microsoft was just going flat today. Apple was trying to bump up. Google and Meta both looking good today, and we'll see what the rest of them are doing. How about that GNPX, guys? Genprex, we talked about it last night. That was the big runner today. And also that COOT was running up there. Coot was running up there. And also that Seed was running too. We were looking at that one. If I don't put something extra. But that was running as well. So a lot of them we were looking at last night. We're running up. We'll look and see what's running up tonight and to tomorrow and what's going to be popping there. And it said that Trump confirms the U.S.-China trade war. I was just kind of reading it, and I don't know what the heck he even said. I didn't even understand. But anyway, the stock futures are a little changed as earnings season heats up, and some of the banks were looking good, guys. J.P. Morgan and companies like this, Bank of America, they all had earnings, and they were holding the market up right there, looking pretty good. So that was nice. Trading day risk on or off. It's trade versus earnings. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of earnings coming up and towards the end of the year right now. So I do think it's going to get a little crazy. And this record number shows how aggressively retail traders bought the dip on Friday, and the S&P 500 finishes higher after strong bank earnings. So there you go with our news, and we'll look and see what's going on here. So let's just pop right into it. Of course, we have our Blue Jays and Mariners game. That one's going to fire up real soon, I think at 8:08 or something. So I'll keep you guys posted on that game. That's our only real big game this evening. And how are you, Robin? And is it you, or is there an error? Is there an error where? I'm not even exactly sure where you're talking about. The market's in an error right now, that's for sure. But I think everything is working here. And yeah, the Blue Jays Mariners start at 8:08. There's some hockey games on, but they're just starting the season, so we're not worrying about that. So I'll keep you updated on there. And let's go through and see what's going on in the market. So let's see what's happening here. And like I said, there was things popping up. There was things dipping down. Neon right here was kind of just flat. This is one of them electrical component companies. It's trying to get set up. It's still in the basement. Not looking bad. That WOK, I took it off the list because they got a delisted notice, so we're not messing with that one right there. And KVUE right here, if I spelled it out right, that's that Tylenol maker, and it is trying to set up right here. You can see it trying to curl up so it'll get into that channel. So that one's actually bottomed out down there and trying to get rolling. So that is your Tylenol maker, and obviously it taking that big dip, and there's Open Door was dipping down. It does have a pretty good support line down here right now at the 7, so I would say watch for any dips around there, but I would also wait for your 20 to come down. So it's not ready yet. It'll get set up, and it'll probably be out here in the middle of November or something, so you have some time for that one as well. And when Open Door gets set up, I'll let you guys know. I obviously told you when it was in 50-cent land, and then I told you when it got to the top right there, almost at 11. So just be patient with Open. And QMCO right here was pulling back a little. They were trying to run up this morning, as you can see. And if you want to look at the minute chart, they popped up first thing. They did have that pullback, and then they kind of just pulled back for the most of the day. Around 1 o'clock was kind of the bottom of the day for most of them. And the YouTube stream not working. Let me see. Let me know if anybody else is having an issue there with the YouTube stream. All right, look over here. I think I could probably just bring it up on my app. Let me check, Robin, and see if it's actually working or if you're having an issue. Let me see real quick. Give me 1 second, guys, or let me know if it's working or not. And let's see. That says it's live. If I click on it, you're right. It's not letting me click on it, so I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not working. I have no idea. It says it's working up here, so I have no idea, Robin, to be honest with you. And so, yeah, let me know, guys. Somebody let me know if you're on X or on the YouTube. Hold on. Let me pop it up here. I might be able to tell better on here on the computer. And there's it says it's live, and I'll probably have to X out because it is. No, it does say an error. You are absolutely right there, Robin. It says an error, and it says that there is please try again later. I don't know. That must be a YouTube error right there, unless there's a problem with the it doesn't look like there's an issue with the StreamYard, right? No, because it says there's a check mark right there. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Robin. It does look like there's an issue going on. Let me see. I could probably do this, but I don't. Yeah, it says it's live, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but there does look like an issue. Maybe it's either YouTube or the StreamYard. I'm not sure, but thank you, Robin, for pointing that out. So yeah, guys, it looks like there might be an issue. So hold on, I'll post it out for you guys on the X account and let you guys know that there might be an issue, and just hop on issue with YouTube stream. So hop on X. There you go. How's that? And post. All right. There we go. Thank you, Robin, for letting me know. And it's working now. All right. Well, that works. I tried to get on and it wasn't working for me. So I have no idea. But thank you for the heads up, because I did look too and it didn't seem to be working. I'll check it one more time and then we'll hop through the show and see what's going on. But yeah, if it's working or not, I am not exactly sure, to be completely honest. It says it was, and I clicked the thing. It does say I'm live right there. And now it might be working. It's not saying it's working here. I don't really know, guys. Sorry. And but we'll just do the show anyway. And I'm not sure if you can see it on YouTube, but Robin did say it was working. So it's working on YouTube. Perfect. I actually unclicked it and clicked it on the StreamYard. Maybe there was an issue going on and it fixed itself. So appreciate the heads up there. Thank you very much. And here we go, guys. Now we'll get through our show and see what's happening in the market. So thanks, Robin, for that heads up. And we were just kind of looking at the first couple right there. Nothing real crazy going on just yet. And let's see what's happening after. Here, we'll go right through. Look at these things. They're way extended, guys. RGTI, your computer hardware, your quantum ones. QUBT right there is the quantum computing. Look at them, guys. They look like they want to come down to me. And you guys know I've been saying locking those profits. That looks like it's topping out. Obviously, it can go higher. They've looked like it before, but they are super, super extended. I'd be careful. And I just think another sector is going to be running relatively soon. So you might want to take the profits on these. That's at QMCO. I meant to hit QTUM. The Defiance Quantum right there. And look at it. It wants to try to get in the top. It has some serious resistance. And I do think it could come back down. We'll see tomorrow. But again, I do think you could see some pullback with these. That IONQ is way up there. And if you look at the IONZ, it looks pretty good. And that's the ETF against it right here. I was checking it out earlier. And that does look pretty good right there. So I would say that's the short, the IONQ. That looks like the better play at the moment between them. So like I said, just be extremely careful with these computer hardware and quantum ones. And what am I doing? I can't hit the letter P, but there's Z space right there. And watch, this will be the one that starts running when they all dip down. Look at it. I'm telling you, it's trying to get set up right here. So we'll keep an eye on the Z space and all of them, obviously. But I do think you're seeing some pullback. Look at RCAT right there. But this QSI right here, we mentioned it earlier in the Discord. Me and Laptop Travel were on this morning in the Discord. And if you look at this does not look bad going into tomorrow. It's still on the top right there. And we know these things can run. So we were looking at this first thing in the morning when it opened up right there. It did pop up, came back down, and it kind of leveled itself out. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad right there. So keep an eye on QSI. That one could be a good play for tomorrow. So we'll keep our eyes on that one right there. And that UNH was up a little bit, and it does look like it's trying to roll up there. So we'll keep an eye on that one as it tries to get set up. I had taken Oscar off. It's just not really doing anything too crazy right here. Could have some pullback. Maybe if it really gets set up, we'll keep it on the list, but just kind of shortening things up and changing it around a little bit. So I figured we'll take that off. We can look at UNH and know what Robin's or what Oscar's going to do at that moment. And ABTC, that Trump crypto company, just keeps on dipping, guys. So like I said, we're just watching these things until they're absolutely ready to get rocking and rolling. And now finally the YouTube chat's working. All right, cool. Thank you, Joseph Levy. Yeah, there was issues issues in the beginning, guys. I'm not sure what was going on. Robin did let me know, and I couldn't even pop up the YouTube on my thing, on my computer or on the app. So not sure what was happening, guys, but there was some kind of technical difficulties, either the StreamYard or YouTube. I clicked it on and off, and it seemed like Robin said it started working a little better. So I hope everybody can get on. And that's why I posted out that message there and said that the YouTube might not be working. So appreciate everybody trying to get back on here and figure it out, since the YouTube was giving us a difficult. Yeah, it said server error. That's what it said for me as well. So definitely an issue. Maybe it was YouTube, to be honest, because it looked like the StreamYard was perfectly fine. And it still says that it has a green check mark and everything's running good. But yeah, I appreciate everybody trying to hop over fences right there to try to figure out how to listen and get on the show. And yeah, it looks like everything might be working now. I can see some more people hopping in. So appreciate it, guys. And we are doing the show, that's for sure. You know that. We love doing this show and picking out what's going to be popping for tomorrow. So yeah, we're just going through the Trump family crypto ones and all the ones that they're in right now at the moment. If you're just tuning in, you didn't really miss a whole lot. And we just kind of went through the quantum ones. The only one out of them that looks pretty good, to be honest with you, is QSI at the moment. And I was just kind of saying, they were pretty topped out right there. So you might want to be locking in profits in all them. And that's like RGTI and QMCO, QBTS, and them guys right there. They're pretty topped out. So keep an eye on that and just watch them to be trying to pull back is what it looks like. And let's see what PEW is. We just looked at this one. That is trying to get set up. And again, guys, we just want to wait until that 20. Everything's lined up perfectly. Even if it bounces around, I don't trust these things. And they will find the absolute bottoms and make sure they're going up. NCPL right here, just kind of hanging out. And PSQH was the one that was looking good, but it did pull back today. I did notice that one. So again, we're just watching these Trump company ones, and we'll see if they went exactly, they get set up there. So you should get a $50 trading credit for the inconvenience. That's pretty great, Joseph Levy. And it's all Bill YouTube there. Say, hey, what the heck was going on? We need a trading credit. And but yeah, there was a lag there with YouTube. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, OCGN not looking too bad, trying to bounce back up. I'm telling you, this guy is in a hardcore bullish channel right here, even as it's trying to pull back. I was looking at ORIS too. That thing was looking pretty good today. And we'll look at that. But look at OCGN. That looked like it tried to get to the bottom, and now it's trying to roll back up. So that one's been a pretty solid one right there. And obviously we were looking at the SDOT, the SATIC group, and I got rid of that one today. I told you it was in my account. I definitely got rid of that bad boy. That's for sure, as it had run up there. It ran up a little bit more at the 4 a.m. hours, but I couldn't have sold it at that time anyway. It was in a different account. So I had to wait until at least the 7 o'clock hours to get rid of it. And there you go. That was SDOT. We had looked at it yesterday, and it went up to 1730 this morning at like early in the morning. So there you go with that one. We were talking about all them yesterday. And like I said, Coot was running up there. We had looked at that earlier, but they're pulling back. So just be careful with them tomorrow. Obviously, I mean, it was just like one tweet, and it takes them things to go over 100 and some percent, 200, 300%. And just a matter of Trump saying, hey, we're just going to use not use China cooking oil, and bam, these things run. But then they come right back down. So you played a trend and whatever the tweet is. And we know that. So we lock in our profits. And that's exactly why, because these things will pull back pretty quick on us, especially on them quick pumps like that. And everybody's looking for them, and everybody just piles in real quick, take your profits, and get the heck out. So it says Trump's comments on the U.S. producing its own cooking oil amid trade threats against China triggered a sharp rally in related agriculture stocks. So that is what happened with them, and that was yesterday. So anyway, let's keep on cruising along, and we'll look at our crypto treasuries right here. And it looks like the game started. There's 2 outs, and it's at the top of the first, and it looks like someone's on second base. So again, our Blue Jays are at bat. They're playing in Seattle, and the Seattle Mariners are up 2-0 in that series. So see if they can jump up 3-0 in this series. That'll be very interesting if they can, especially at home. So we'll see what's going on with that game, and I'll keep you guys posted. BMNR, has a setup period right here. And obviously, we'll go through crypto. We can even do it in a second. We'll look at SBET right there. Also, just kind of pulling back gently. It looks like it's trying to find the bottom. It has a little room. It could still level down a little bit. This UPXI is the one that doesn't look too bad, to be honest with you. I mean, this one looks like it could rip the most at the moment, and it is setting up, and that is your Solana one. And Solana, honestly, as much as crypto is pulling back, and we'll look at it, Solana is pulling back. It's under 200, but it's been holding itself up as Bitcoin's been pulling back pretty good, and now it's in the 110s, and it did start pulling back just a little bit ago. I was watching it kind of pull down a little harder. And again, guys, you're way down here. Just let it. If it wants to pull back, let it pull back. It even has the 50 down here. And like I said, it's not out of the question to just kind of work its way down to that 107 and reset itself and then get really ripping. So just be patient for a week or two. And like I was saying, we'll go through the poly market as well after this crypto. But Ethereum just kind of walking down real slow. But look at all the room it made, guys. It made a ton of room on the chart so it can turn around and get ripping. And here is your Solana. And it is just kind of pulling back now. Look how far down it is, though. And this thing gets turned back around. It's going to really get ripping. It has a lot of room right there. And you guys know I like Solana. And Ripple right there is kind of just making a base, pulling back, and another one way down there. So when it wants to get ripping, it came out of the basement, it'll come around here. I don't know if it's really going to get in the basement again, but even if it does, we know it's going to come ripping out of there and get crazy. And there's your Doge. It was bouncing off the bottom, pulled all the way back. Cardano looks very similar right there, almost the exact same, to be honest with you. Stellar looks pretty similar, as you can tell, and even Chainlink right here. So they all look very similar right there. I'll tell you that. Even SUI, I was looking at them. You can see it's like almost the exact same chart. And then Optimism's in the basement, and we know when this one gets set up, it's going to get ripping. So this one's going to double itself up pretty quick. So that's going to be a great opportunity when these things get turned around. We're going to want to play that OP and make some quick, easy money on it. So we're obviously watching all of them very closely to see what crypto's doing. So yeah, we'll be watching and making sure we know when that bottom's in and it wants to get ripping. And again, it could take a week, 2 weeks. Let's just keep an eye on it. We go through them every day. I know once these things get set back up and things get rolling again, it's going to be ripping at the end of the year. Maybe it's just the last 2 months, month and a half, but I'll tell you what, you can make major bank in that time real fast, and we already know that. I mean, Joseph Levy's been making bank and just hitting all these calls and riding some of these quantum computer hardware ones up. He hit BITF almost at the top where Laptop Travel caught it almost perfectly, guys. I mean, it was pretty crazy what Laptop Travel said. What did he say? It was like right around 650 or something. It got up to 660, and Joseph Levy hit that one, and he was telling me. So yeah, he's been hitting them nonstop, guys. And honestly, Joseph Levy, I know this one expires in like 2 days. You might even get out of this one possibly even like even or something. Look at your GALT ripping. Maybe you get that one to pop up there. So 657 you got out of it. So there you go. Joseph Levy damn near hit the top of it, guys. And that the heck was it called? BITF, couldn't even think of it. But yeah, GALT, Joseph Levy. This one might blast up. And remember, I was telling you the other day, it was getting set up right here. You might get lucky on that one too. He might not even have he might not have a losing one right there. So there you go. Let's see if GALT can run up some more for you. I'm not sure. What did you have? A $6 call? I don't really remember what you said, what it was, but I know you said it expired in the next day or two. And so there you go. You could have made $10 today on GALT. There you go. So you were actually up on it. So there you go. You even came back. The one that he bought and it actually dipped down, came back up, and he could have got out even. And honestly, tomorrow you'll probably be fine on it. So that's pretty impressive, Joseph Levy. I'll tell you that. And there you go. There's your motivational story for everybody. And like I said, everybody can do it. Joseph Levy's doing it at home, and he's having a blast. We've been talking lately, and you know that he's having a good old time. Oh, it was a $5 call, so he's in the money, and it's going up. So yeah, you'll be good on that one too, Joseph Levy. So I like it right there. Good job. Nice work. Keep at it. And again, keep confident. Just don't get cocky. Just know, let me play one at a time, exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to change anything up because it's working. I'm not going to get in over my head and start buying a million of them. And I'm just going to focus on this one, and that's it. And boom, boom, and keep on rocking and rolling. So, exactly what you're doing, Joseph Levy. Continue to do it. And then also spread the word to others exactly what you're doing so it can help others out. Because again, it's one of them things that everybody has a different method and style, and it clicks to different people from others. So that's why I think the show works out great, because you guys get to see a lot of different angles and different people talking about different things. So yeah, if Joseph Levy can tell you any of his experience and it can help anybody else out, that's why we're all here doing the show together. And so yeah, that's the best part about it, to be honest with you. So that's why I do try to share a story, and obviously I talk to him and he knows. So yeah, he's watching the PZZA right now, and like a Laptop Travel did say it was a gamble. He straight up did say that this morning. He said, I'm gambling on the fact that they're going to get this buyout. So we'll see tomorrow. It's actually not looking too bad right there. It was up, pulled back a little, but yeah, it could run up some more. It's not looking bad. So we will be keeping an eye on PZZA. And again, that was in the Discord this morning. And Laptop Travel was like, I'm just going to play it. It's a total gamble if they're going to do this buyout. It should get over 55, 56 or whatever he had said. So that's what we were looking at. We were also trying to bottom out in the video today, and it had dipped down a little more than I thought it would. Like I said, right around 1 o'clock right there. What was it, like 115-ish? Yeah, 114, 115. That's where your bottoms came in on everything this today. And then it started to work its way up. It's actually not looking too bad for tomorrow. And to be completely honest with you, Nvidia is one of them ones where, and this market's been like, if it dips out pretty good, then it bounces back pretty well the next day. So having two of them candles, it almost looks like it could bounce back tomorrow. How about AMD right here? That thing was ripping and looks pretty good going into tomorrow. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one. AMD right there. So just kind of jumping around at the moment. And but here, let's get back to it. ORBS, that one was kind of dipping down just a little bit. And again, this is going to be a great setup, guys. Look at this thing right here. So just let this get set up, and that's going to be a great opportunity as well. And buyout is for 64 a share. That's what he said. And you're in at 55 calls. So that's what Laptop Travel was saying. He was saying if there's a buyout, they'll have it for about 64 a share. And obviously, you're in the 53s. So that is what Laptop Travel was saying. And he did say it's a complete gamble on that one, just on the buyout news. So we were playing that one this morning, talking about it in the Discord. And there you go with ORBS. Like I said, that's going to be a great setup. Another one of these crypto ones that we're just keeping an eye on. Salesforce down a little bit. Now let's just let it pull back with the blue screen right there. But let this pull back. It might ride right down here and then get really set up. So we'll keep an eye. Whoa, it did bounce up that much in the end. Well, maybe it already's going to bounce off of there. I thought it was going to pull back, but maybe it had other plans in the after hours. What happened to that in the after hours? Something must have happened there. I don't see anything today. It's 7:35. Salesforce forecast stronger than expected revenue of over $60 billion in 2030 and expand strategic partnership with Anthropic, whatever it's called, while also teaming with Stripe and OpenAI to build instant checkout integration. So there you go. I would say Salesforce is running right along right there and looking pretty good with some news. So yeah, these things. And guys, remember what I was talking about, how everybody's going to be integrated together? Well, Microsoft had some news today, and I still don't understand how this thing isn't ripping. They've had some really good news, and they're like partnering with NVIDIA, was it, and BlackRock? Yeah, here you go. NVIDIA, Microsoft, and BlackRock just struck a massive AI deal. And I don't know how they all didn't pop on this thing, because this is kind of crazy right here. So like I was saying before, all these things were joining forces. They're all, I would say, just right there between, you got the biggest ones. You have BlackRock, NVIDIA, and Microsoft. And then they just all agreed to buy Align Data Centers in a deal valued at $40 billion, guys. So there you go. Align Data Center is one of the largest and fastest growing data center firms. Clearly, if you have BlackRock, NVIDIA, and Microsoft money involved in it, yeah, it's going to be ripping, guys. So that is what we're seeing here. We've been talking about this happening for a while. And again, it's just a matter, I think, of NVIDIA just getting ripping up here. I mean, they've had good news. Then they had this Microsoft to rent N-Scale data center in Portugal and contract 200,000 NVIDIA AI chips from N-Scale, marking a major expansion in AI infrastructure. Remember I was saying that Microsoft was going to have to get into AI? Well, here you go, guys. And this is why I was saying they were going to have big news coming out. I still think it will. That's why I had my option far out, and I still have it. So I do think it'll be pretty safe right there. But yeah, it's a massive news. And again, they just all sealed the deal with everybody working together right with that deal right there. And if you didn't hear about it, that happened today. And yeah, BlackRock, NVIDIA, and Microsoft, I mean, it just doesn't get any bigger. And then you already have NVIDIA working with Elon and all these other companies, guys, AMD and OpenAI, they all work together now. And like I said, I'm pretty sure Trump administration said, hey guys, we got to all work together or we're going to get smoked by China. And you guys really aren't going to make that much money at the end of the day, because now you're going to be having major competition with everybody and you're going to be spending your bulk of your money just competing, instead of if we just join forces and we have the greatest of everything. Everybody will make a ton of money, because I'll make sure we are the capital of AI and we're doing it the biggest and the best. And when you do that, now you have all these teams and the biggest companies working together. They're going to produce the best product that you can possibly have. And again, at the end of the day, I think a lot of it comes back to our national security at the end of the day with AI and all. And excuse me. He kind of present it like, yo, if we don't work together, there's a very good chance we could get taken out by another country, because they'll have way more advanced AI, drones, this, that, and everything else. If we do work together, we have the chance to make way more money together and also keep this country completely safe from everybody. So at the end, that you got two big things going on right there, and that's what I could see happening. And that's why I was already saying, guys, we were talking about it anyway, but I mean, you could see what was going to happen. These companies had to work together, or it wasn't going to work out for any of them. They can't compete. There's no competition in this. It's too big of a game for any of them. Even NVIDIA, they can't even keep up with the demand. And so yeah, no one had the supply to keep up with the demand. And now if they all work together, it's like, hey, we need this, and Microsoft does this the best, so why don't we just ask them to do it for us, and then we'll do this for them because we can do this better for them, and then everything works out together. So now you're seeing all these companies actually working together instead of all the competition that used to be there. And at the Verizon and Comcast, I was telling you guys about them. I mean, you're talking about huge competitors, and like I said, Comcast sells cell phones now, cell phone service, and they use Verizon satellites, and they get that deal for free because Comcast had provided, and I don't know if it was telephone poles. I don't know what the hell the deal was. I still never even looked into it, and I really didn't even care. But I just know that they have to work. They're working together, and instead of Comcast charging Comcast charging Verizon for whatever it was, Verizon said, hey, why don't we just make up a deal with our lawyers here? We'll figure out something that's basically equal. You use our satellites, we'll use whatever we needed from you guys, and we'll call it an even deal, and we'll try to get it as close as possible where it's basically both beneficial, and it's not costing us really out of pocket either company. So they figured out something like that as well, and now you're starting to see that a lot with obviously all these AI companies are doing a computer hardware, quantum ones, and even other companies like Verizon and Comcast. So before, that was like out of the question, guys. That just never would even happen because they were just such big competitors. They'd rather try to wipe out the company rather than try to help them and build something stronger. And I think they realize at the end of the day, hey, if we just partner up, of course we're competitors, but we're the only two basic competitors. I mean, they're either going to you or me. And at the end of the day, there's enough people where we both make so much money. And then if we work together, we get a piece of everything. And when you get a piece of everything, it's a lot better than just trying to compete with somebody. And so, yeah, these companies are like, hey, we can make even more money. And then they're cutting out their workforce with AI. So they're cutting out their overhead and making more profits. So you don't think the CEOs and people are in the, the investors are excited? So that's what you're seeing happening. And again, when you can cut out your workforce like that, it does. Then it becomes really valuable if you can team up with a company that's your competitor, because both of you don't even have that overhead anymore. Now you can really focus on the product and really nail it down, and basically, instead of competing, drive the sales to like 10 times what you could do by yourself. So it is kind of interesting that you're seeing it happen a lot. But it doesn't surprise me at all, because we had talked about it. And again, I didn't think that the companies could even survive if they didn't do something like that. But anyway, just a little behind the scenes what you see going on here. It's interesting. And let's see, you saw Salesforce commercial today regarding AI integration. So there you go. And Robin said he received an email from LifeLock that Salesforce had a data breach. That's interesting right there. And I swear every company has a data breach now. I don't think and that's what they need to work on. And I think that's part of it too, guys. I think just like you are talking about, these data breaches and things of that nature, and our internet security and things like that, that needs to get tightened up big time, because cybersecurity could wipe out the entire country, and we're not that great at it. You can see every company gets breached at one time or another. All your email information, your contact info, all that shit gets hacked, and it happens to like every single company, guys. It doesn't even matter. I mean, it's every single company. And it's happened to like Apple's and Microsoft's, even the biggest companies in the world that have the best security. So I think that's part of it too, and they need to get that cybersecurity really under control. So interesting you brought that up right there. But yeah, Salesforce had a data breach, and every company basically. But yeah, I think they're going to try to get that under control, where you just see encrypted. Didn't Apple Elon said he was making something so encrypted that like he wouldn't even be able to look at it. And so like you would have complete privacy or something. I forget exactly what it is. I saw something about it today. Anyway, let's keep on cruising. So yeah, that was CRM Salesforce. And yeah, that bumped up there in the after hours. So there you go with that, on some good news. And CoreWeave right here, not looking too bad, jumping up today. And that thing's trying to get set. We'll look at it tomorrow. And a couple of these are on the verge of they could go either way right here, as you can tell. So we will keep an eye on it. And again, some of the other ones that are way up in the top, I'd be real careful with them. They could be pulling back. This Core Scientific we were looking at last night, and that did run up today. So there you go. And it looks pretty good for tomorrow. So you can keep an eye on that. CORZ, not looking bad. And how about our Circle right here? It's just kind of running around, but it looks like it was trying to go up in the after hours. So let's see what Circle's up to. And it is just bouncing around. We'll get that curl up pretty soon. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. You can see it's getting set up right there. So let's keep an eye on Circle for a setup. That's for sure. And let's see what ASTS is doing. It was jumping around today, and obviously it got up. It got to 99.82. It almost hit that $100 mark right there. As we had mentioned, it was just about there. And you're way at the top on ASTS as well, guys. So I would definitely be getting ready to lock in some profits. And LightPath, I just jumped out of order, but I was just thinking about it. That jumped up today. And again, I was locking in the rest of my contracts on this. Yeah, it could bounce up even higher. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not messing with it as it's hitting the top. I'll reevaluate that one. So that's how I play them. So yeah, I took some profits yesterday, and then more this morning when it opened up right there, I got rid of the rest of them. So we had talked about that, buying them the other day, just letting you guys know. And that ASTS we were just talking about. And the big bear right here was kind of pulling back a little bit, and as was Plug. It was up early, and then it did have that pullback. And look at these things. They're way at the top coming down. Could they roll back off? Of course they can. But we have to make sure that they want to. You don't want to be playing with them. As they're pulling back right there, Rich Tech Robotics was pulling back as well. And look at it hitting that MACD. You could definitely come down on it. And they need to, guys. I'm telling you, they're so overextended. They could use a little breather. And let's see what that we were already looking at gold. It does look good. GALT, Galston Therapeutics. A lot of these biotech companies are starting to look good, guys. So it was the all new X chats rolling out with encryption, vanishing messages, and the ability to send any kind of file, also audio and video calling. So that's what I had seen today, Joseph Levy. Thank you for that info. And yeah, that's something Elon's making right there. So keep an eye. We'll be watching out for that. And it's supposed to be completely encrypted. So interesting stuff. But again, that's the future right there. Cybersecurity and all these AI companies having to work together. So that's what you can see happening right now. And then the markets are going to cruise because we're in an AI balloon. And then, of course, that balloon will pop and things will come right down and we'll play the market accordingly. You know that. So anyway, Path right here trying to stay up there. I don't know if it's ready to roll off there. It's trying to, like I said. So we'll look at Path in the morning. I'll write that one down over here. It could be a good opportunity in the morning. And that Bath and Body Works, I must have said Bed Bath and Beyond. Bath and Body Works, just a little healthy pullback. We've been watching that since down here off the trend line. And it's not looking bad. Like I said, it'll set up. It probably will run during the holiday season. There's that LPTH right there. We were just talking about that guy. And this Oris, ORIS, not looking bad right here, guys. Look at that thing. Remember, we were talking about this the last few days, and that is curling up pretty nice right there. So this could be an early runner, ORIS. You can see it right there. It says it closed up, and then the stock twit said it came down just a hair. I'm not exactly sure, but not really a big deal right there. But you might want to be keeping an eye on ORIS right there because it does look good, and it's in the right position in the morning. So keep your eye on that. Laptop Travel and everybody else. And Serve Robotics right here wasn't bad. This has been on the list the last few days, and this could get running right over that resistance. It looks like it's trying to. So might want to keep an eye on SERV. That could be a little bit of a momentum play there. And that MLTX, is that Moonlight or something like that. Moon Lake, that's what it was. Moon Lake Immunotherapeutics, a little bit of pullback there. It had been running up. We've been watching it for a few days, and let's just see. It might have a little healthy pullback. It's trying to get up to the MACD right there. Keep an eye on this tomorrow and just see what it looks like. And today they face a major lawsuit alleging securities law violations. Well, that might not go so well for them. So we will have to look at that tomorrow. But it did run up for us. We had watched it run up the last few days right here, and now they only have a securities fraud thing going on. So we might not mess with MLTX. I'll look at it tomorrow just to see. We don't want to get involved in anything like that. Oracle had that bounce back. We were looking at it yesterday, and it was looking good to get set up, and it's still trying to get through. Look at this thing. Oracle's still trying to fight its way up there, but it did bounce back pretty well today. So if you were looking at it yesterday, got in and it dipped, you're definitely in good shape right there. And there you are with RCL and the Dragonfly, and it doesn't look bad. Dragonfly right there is kind of flying around. It's trying to fly back into the top, as you can see, and that's another one we'd have to look at in the morning. You can see that big spike up right there. It does look like it's trying to stay up, but we'll definitely have to look at it. And that is your DFLI Dragonfly. And this one was in the Discord from the Godfather AIP. We've been talking about this bad boy, and that thing was up over 7% today, looking pretty good and could continue up. It's that semiconductor one. And again, it was in the Discord and pretty strong into the close right there. So there you go, AIP. And I always put an E in there, but I didn't just now. But yeah, AIP right there. Arterius or something, whatever it's called. But yeah, looking pretty good. So you can keep an eye on that one. And again, that was in the Discord. Chipotle did pull back a little bit. It ran up early this morning. I did see that in a little healthy pullback. Does not look bad. And again, that setup was looking good. As your 20 and 50, it does just look like a little healthy pullback with that run up this morning. So that is Chipotle, and that is getting set up. And how about Soundhound? It was still running up today and trying to get into the top. Maybe it will continue up here. Again, it hasn't really run that much like some of the others, but you have that crazy look right there. So we'd have to look at that in the morning, but it did run up for us as we thought it might. So there you go, SOUN. Our good old sound hound right there. And this one we had on the list. I don't know why we weren't trading this guy, SMR. We knew it was popping off that trend line. And I looked at it as it was already running up today and went, damn, why didn't I have that on the list for today? Definitely. So I'm going to have to, I already thought about it. I'm going to redo the list a little bit better this weekend. And that way I can really keep track of the best ones and write them down while we're doing the show. And that way we have the best opportunities because I start writing them down all over the place. And then by the end of the show, I have to like kind of go through the entire list again to see what I liked because I can't even understand what the heck I was writing down. And it's all just too much. So I'm going to make it a lot better and organized. I've been trying to do that today. I was working on it. So yeah, I'll make the list a little bit better for you guys. And then of course in the Discord, it'll definitely be a lot better because it'll be more organized for the morning, the night note and everything else. So we'll get the exact poppers now down so we know exactly what to play. And I'm not trying to search around the list and look at them all and go, what the heck one did I mark down again? So, yeah, I've been doing that the last few nights. And I'm like, I have to do this a better way because this doesn't make any sense that we can pick them all out. And then I have them all written down like crazy over here. So I'll get that better organized and then we'll be in better shape. So always trying to improve the show and make it better. But yeah, SMR had unusual options activities today right there. And SOUN, it does look like it does wants to go up higher. At the moment, like I said, it has that weird look. We'll look at it tomorrow morning and see what it does want to do. And QSI, we looked at it already with the quantums. And like I said, this one we gave out at the beginning of the show this morning. And this is looking good. I think you might get some extension on this tomorrow, QSI. So keep your eye on that. Look at that setup looking pretty good right there. So I would say that one might be a really good one for the morning. And that is QSI. And what about Dollar General right here? Remember, we were talking about them. They're still running up right there. And Dollar Tree. So there you go. Dollar Tree's hitting that 50 right there, hitting a little resistance. But the Dollar General not looking so bad. Look at it. It also hitting the 50, but it's pretty strong. So even if it gets in this channel, you might get them to run up a little bit more. And that is Dollar General, you can see, and Dollar Tree. What was that one? DT something, I forget. DLTR, that's it. DLTR, Dollar Tree. There you are. And like I said, the DG looked a little bit better right there. So Dollar General, a little bit better than Dollar Tree, but they both were going up for us. And we had looked at them the other night, and boom, there you go with them guys. And how about that NVIDIA semiconductor? And that was strong today, up 20% and still on the top. Might have a little more momentum on that one in the morning, so you can keep an eye on that. And we were talking about this PPBT, and that was running up there today. It had been on my list. Laptop Travel's been putting it on his list as well. I just been keeping it on the one list so we don't have to look at it twice. But yeah, has been looking good in that setup for PPBT. And it is cruising right along. UPS not looking bad right here. As you can see, trying to get set up. You might get that roll off. That's what I'll be looking at for tomorrow. So look at this thing, UPS right here. We'll see if it can get rolled off. I think market conditions will dictate that, but it's not looking bad. And FedEx right now was up today, bouncing up there, but I think you have a little setup happening there. So we'll keep an eye on FedEx. But like I said, UPS not too bad right there. What one was I looking at today? MASK. Yeah, this thing. Look at this guy. This thing was setting up Laptop Travel. Look at this thing trying to bounce off that MACD and come out of the basement right there. I don't know what it is. It is a China application one, but it is trying to get set up right here. MASK. You familiar with this Laptop Travel? Because it doesn't look bad. We'll write it down and look at it in the morning right here. So I definitely want to check out that mask. It caught my eye earlier, and I said, wow, that one looks pretty interesting. And then these China ones are a little crazy. They're always crazy, but they're definitely crazy right now with like the trade war. And that BTGD is that staked 100% Bitcoin and gold ETF, and that's not looking too bad right there. So we will keep an eye on all these. And that SOLZ is pulling back, and SOLT is as well. So we're, like I said, we're just going to let all these guys pull back until everything's ready. And HSDT, that Solana company, isn't looking too bad, but another one we'll just keep an eye on it for right now. TOVX was running up today and not looking too bad to try to keep its momentum tomorrow morning. So you might want to keep an eye on TOVX. And someone had mentioned this a couple days ago. I remember it was running up here and then it kind of pulled back and then it did blast off. So keep an eye on that in the morning. And VIVK right here, let's see what that's up to. I think that was moving along in the after hours as well. It was cruising along today, and in the after hours, oil and gas one. And yeah, that's that VIVK. So that is jumping up there. And that's another one to keep an eye on. Look at it closing up there strong and could be a good momentum play right there. So we'll definitely be watching that in the morning. And let's see what a few other ones are doing. These ones caught my eye. DRI is Darden Restaurant. They do not own who? Olive Garden or Red Lobster? Which one left? I forget. Red Lobster. Yeah, Red Lobster got sold to some company, and they still own Olive Garden. So Darden Restaurants right here, not looking too bad. We can keep an eye on that in the morning. Looks like it might have dipped down in the after hours. DRI. And let's see. Yeah, it's not looking too bad right there. That caught my eye earlier, so we'll look at that one. And JCI, I think, Johnson Controls International Building Products. Look at this thing, guys. That thing looks like it's trying to get ripping some more. Has an interesting look, that's for sure right there. So that one's looking pretty good. JCI and AMAT right here, Applied Materials. And it said that they had a both upgrade Applied Materials to buy with a $250 price target, citing DRAM market strength. I don't even know what they're talking about, but it's at 227. And look at that thing trying to roll up there. So keep an eye on AMAT. Another one just grabbed my attention today on the scanners. And Charles Schwab was looking pretty strong, guys. This was not looking bad, and it was running up in the after hours. So you guys can keep an eye on good old Schwabby right here. Charles Schwab looking strong with your 20 meeting up with your 50. I'd say that could be a good setup right there for tomorrow. And ARKR, what was that one? I forget what the heck it even was. Arc Restaurants, this was looking pretty good too. So a couple restaurant ones. Maybe we'll go through the restaurant industry and see what's going on real quick. But yeah, look at that bad boy was getting set up. That one looks really good too for a good setup there. So I just found a couple ones that were looking pretty decent on today. And let me just see something real quick. That BDL looks like it could keep momentum. BH not looking too bad. Let me just see real quick. That wasn't looking bad. That Bros, that's that Dutch Bros company. And let's see what else. That's a Cheesecake Factory right there. Not too bad. And let me just take a look and see. There's another one, Chanson. That's an China one. Eat right there. That wasn't too, but that one was trying to run up. There's that Genk, GENK we've been looking at, Laptop Travel, and I didn't even realize it was a restaurant. I probably said it, but forgot. And there's Jack in the Box. That one had spiked up there. So a couple good ones right there in the restaurant industry. Nothing too crazy. Something right there. NDLS, that's a noodles and company. Didn't look too bad. And McDonald's is looking pretty good. And obviously we know Pizza, PZZA, and also Domino's was probably back there somewhere. But yeah, a couple decent ones right there, I have to say, in the restaurant industry. So restaurant industry is trying to run up with some of them there. So we'll keep an eye on some of them. And ARTV, what was that? Artivia Biotherapeutics, and some of these biotech companies are looking good. And this was curling up and not looking bad. So you can keep an eye on this in the morning. ARTV, we'll take a look at it. You can see it looking pretty strong right there. So there's a couple right there, guys. Laptop Travel and Crew. You guys can keep an eye on them. They grabbed my attention today while I was scanning through things and looking. You know what else look pretty good? We'll go through our big cats because JagX looking pretty good right here. Look at that bad boy trying to get running. So our Jaguar looks like it wants to get sprinting right there. So watch Jaguar in the morning, and let's see what our Lion's up to. That's just kind of hanging out right there. And the Cheetah's not looking bad either. Let's see what that CTMT is up to. So keep an eye on JagX, and that CTMT is trying to get set up right there. So There's your big cats, and yeah, that one looks good. You know what else looks really good? We might even just have to play these guys. This looks amazing going into tomorrow. J-Nug, look at that thing. It's just bouncing right off, curling up there, trying to get back into the top, and it ran up pretty significantly today, and it looks really good there tomorrow. So it was up, what, almost 10%? So keep your eye on J-Nug and NUGT Nug right there. I do put them in the they're in the night note every night. I always do a little piece on them and keep you up to date with the gold prices because they've been insane. But yeah, J-Nug's looking really good right there, and also silver right here is not looking bad as well. And remember, we had talked about silver. What, Doge Mama 9 brought it up to us, I believe, and said someone was saying it was looking good, and it was like probably back here, I forget, it was like in the summertime, whenever the heck it was, and I would say it went up like almost doubled since that time, guys. So that was pretty impressive right there. And again, I just sit here and facilitate the show. You guys bring a lot of great action and stock tickers and everything to the show, and that's why it works out so well. And then we all trade stories and tell people what works and what doesn't. And I can tell you what doesn't work perfectly fine because I've already made every mistake a million times. So that's why I try to help you guys avoid them. And so, yeah, and the Blue Jays game is 2-2 right now. Blue Jays Mariners, top of the third, one out. So there's some action, guy on first base. And like I said, the Blue Jays are up to bat. So there you are. And that looks like it's a pretty decent game. But there you are with your gold and your silver right there. And again, we looked at that mask. We'll keep an eye on that. Looking pretty good right there for sure. And let's go ahead and look at our laptop travel list. And then we'll look at our Jolie's jams. And then we'll take a look and see what you guys want to see, because I see a bunch of other stuff. Oracle ended with your favorite can. It sure did today. You know that. It was at that doji candle. I mean, right there where it opens and closes, right around the same exact price. You can see it right there. And yeah, that is just about my favorite can. You know something's going to happen, and you could see it on both of them right there. So yeah, it definitely closed basically the last 2 days right around the same price, but it does look really good right there, Oracle. And we'll obviously be watching. It's hitting that MACD, trying to get up. And honestly, one of these pullback days, they always end up in like a pretty nice bounce up day. It's just that SPY could easily pull back a little more. It's all over the place right now. It's just a choppy week. And we did say it at the beginning of the week that it would probably be one of these bounce around weeks. Well, here you are. It's bouncing around for sure. And sometimes it's better just to sit on the sideline unless you're running up the momentum plays, which we've been trying to do, and catch some of the good setups. But yeah, it is just bouncing around all over the place. But we do find the good ones like AIP right there, and we've been hitting them, so it doesn't, not too bad. McDonald's, we've known that one was looking good right there. So here we go with our laptop travel list and APRE. We had looked at this one, and there's another biotech company. I'm telling you guys, the biotechs might get fired up here. This is Artway. This was an I thought Artways was an Australian one. Oh, it was a heavy machinery one. That's right. When we were looking at the farm and heavy construction, or the farming ones, that's what it was. We were also looking at Australian ones the other day, and I thought that was on here, but it was on there, and the farming ones. But yeah, that's in a nice little channel, Artways Manufacturing, to get set up. And it's DTCK, Davis Commodities. That was running around today, as you can see. So let's look at that. And we were looking at it just the other day. Look, it just spiked up today. It did spike up a little higher, and it does have a crazy look right there. So we'd have to look at that one tomorrow. ENVB right here. We were talking about that last night, and look at that bad boy, jumped up right there. ENVB. It was running up yesterday, and boom, there you go. That did jump up pretty nice. So that was a beauty right there, and that was on your laptop travel list last night. GP right here, trying to get moving. That's a Green Power Motor Company, and that's not looking bad to curl up. That one could be another runner right there. And RCG is RenFun. And that's just kind of running around right there. Some of these realty companies and equity things are kind of setting up. I've been seeing them on the scanners also. And what's the other one? RGC. Isn't that the one that we had looked at before? I forget what the heck it is. Yeah, that's the one that spiked up big. And this one right here, look at RGC right here, Laptop Travel. That's not looking bad right now. And that is that drug maker one, and that had run pretty big for us one other time, and it is setting up again. So we might want to add that one right to the list right there, RGC, to see if that one really wants to get cruising. It looks like it's trying to get set up, so we can look at that tomorrow as well. And I'm not sure. I was meant to look this one up before I started, and I forgot. RMSGG. Well, there's Real Messenger, and then there's one with the warrants right there. But yeah, look at that. Real Messenger right there is running up pretty good. That could be a good momentum play right there tomorrow, guys. And that's RMSG right there. Real Messenger. And yeah, look at that thing. That is cruising right up there. Not looking too bad. And your TNON, Tenon Medical, we were talking about it last night, running up a little bit more, hitting that 50 and trying to get set up for TNON. So there you go with that. It does have that Pac-Man kind of look, and does look like it wants to spike up a little bit more. So keep an eye on that one. That one's looking pretty good. And there you go with your laptop travel list. A lot of great ones right there. And now let's roll through our Jolie's Jams. Let me drink some water. And here we go. Ready with our Jolie's Jams rhythm right here. It's a farming one, looking at it. And it is curling up, not looking bad right there. That used to be Agrify. Blink charging, just pulling back. Honestly, it could have a nice little pullback right here to get set back up off that 20. As you can see right there, it could level down a little bit. But it had recently run up for us. And Sezzle, trying to still get set up right here. I was looking at it today, and you can see it was running flat. That's how it looked like when I saw it today. So Sezzle just kind of hanging out there. Let's see what it wants to do. Sterling running up some more, but it's hitting that resistance. I think you're going to have that little pullback. I don't think it gets through the MACD there. But when this thing gets set up, probably in the beginning of November, that thing's going to get blasting off. So we'll be keeping an eye on Sterling. And let's see what Rivian's doing. It was trying to crawl up there yesterday. It's moving up a little bit. And still, again, I don't know if it's really going to get blasting off, but it'll probably hit the MACD, come down, have to get reset up again. For Rivian, that's what it looks like. Symbotic had been up, and that it just spike up, hit the resistance. And I don't know, though. It's trying to peek into the top, but it's hitting this resistance. I'd have to look at Symbotic tomorrow. It could get up there. It has that weird look. There you go. And it could go either way. So I'd have to look at that tomorrow. And Nike right here is trying to rebound itself. And another one, I'm not so sure it wants to get through the MACD. It's probably going to hit that 20 and pull back a little bit. And your DXYZ, and I would rather see it kind of pull back, but it might try to roll off. I don't know right there. Some of these are like a coin flip because they'd run up. And look at it. It could pull itself up, roll off the MACD, but it could also come down and pull back because it really has some good support down here, and it could just come right back down to get set up. So DXYZ could go either way as well. And let's look at our SPY Mag 7 big caps and all them guys. And your SPY, it did close, it was up today, I'll say, but it was kind of bouncing around all over the place. As you can see, it started right here, ran up, came back down, and there's your 115 bottom for everything, and then kind of went back up and went flat. So that's what they look like. The Qs did the exact same thing right here, and they generally do. There's your 115 bottom, and then they started running back up. So we were watching it earlier. We did see this bottom right here on some of them on the Qs anyway, and the SPY, they ran up, and then they did pull back there. You got your full bottom and came back up. So yeah, we'll be watching it tomorrow to see exactly what they want to do. But I've been just watching these and trading them like that as well in the mornings, and we've been on the Discord. And again, we were looking at NVIDIA because they had a lot of great news. It started out pretty well, I'm not going to lie. It actually, we were watching it pull back. I thought its bottom was right around here. Right here, that's where I thought. It did come back down. It ran up a little bit right there, and then it kind of ran up a little more around 11, and then it did pull back, and then 115 was your true bottom right there. And again, NVIDIA not looking bad for tomorrow, so we'll be watching that one as well. And let's see what the rest of these guys are doing right here. Apple, it's just trying to curl up. It's not really ready to do anything. And Amazon right here had been pulling back some, and that's not ready to do anything. Google is running up, though, and looking pretty good. So I think Google and Meta probably look the best today, and we'll have to see. Look at all them crazy looks for Meta. So it does have a really good look going into their earnings really soon. So Meta could jump up the market. Look at this thing. It does look really solid right there for Meta. We might want to keep an eye on that one, that's for sure. And again, we're just waiting for Microsoft. They keep having great news and AI and everything else. And somehow this stock does not want to get ripping, and it was completely set up. Usually when they're set up like that, that Friday took the wind out. Not completely though, but it should get cruising, guys. It just wants to make that crazy curl up move, and it has so much good news going on. So it does have the catalyst. It has everything going for it. I'm just not sure why it didn't happen yet. So we'll be watching our Microsoft right there to see if it gets ready. And the video I was just talking about, again, had pulled back a little. I do think you might get some bouncing back tomorrow. So we will be watching the video, and we'll see if we can get that low and see if it really wants to run up there. AVGO right there was running around and not looking too bad, I must say. Look at that thing trying to make that hard curl up and go through. So you can keep an eye on that. We'll get down to them. But first, AMC, just like I said, let it come down to this trend line down here, and that would be a great spot for it. GameStop just kind of jumping around. It does look like it's trying to bottom out down there, but has a little bit of time. And your Chewy pulling back right there and should pull back a little more. In Unity right there. Remember we were saying this thing looks like it's going to get a good setup happening. So might want to keep an eye on Unity right there. That is getting set up, that's for sure. And let's look at Netflix and see what they were down. I did see it down today. And again, in that channel, probably going to come back down to the lower, the 1203 area right there. Nothing real crazy. And then honestly, it'll bounce around and get set up. So Netflix looks like it's going to be pretty strong right there. And that AVGO we were just talking about, that one, like I said, that one is looking pretty good right there. It does look like it wants to run through. Check it out right here. As you can see, it was curling up, looking good, trying to peek its head through. It looked pretty solid today. So we'll be watching that to try to run up tomorrow. MU not looking bad, but again, another one. This one's been in the top and kind of pulling back right there. So we will see if it has anything. TSM, that was looking good, and they do have earnings. Is that tomorrow? Yep, the 16th right there. So TSM is definitely having their earnings tomorrow right there. So here you go with TSM, and it does look pretty good rolling off of there. So let's take a look and see on here. Yeah, look at that thing. TSM. I would keep an eye on that with the earnings. Let's just write down that they have earnings coming up, and it does look good. So I would be watching that. SMCI right here, just kind of making a little base, and we'll see if it wants to roll off that MACD right there. So there you are with SMCI. Not looking bad. You can see it's coming in for the landing as it wants to. So we will watch that. AMD is another one, guys, you might have to watch tomorrow. And we were way early on this big popper when it popped up right here. And now it's jumping up again. And I think you might get another run up there tomorrow. So AMD looking pretty strong, I must say. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. We had mentioned it the other day, too. I don't know if it was right there on Friday, whatever day it was. And now it's bouncing back up for us. So AMD, QCOM, not bad. Like I said, that's trying to get set up right there. And it will run up as it curls up. We'll see if it's completely ready. And Snow just keeping itself in the channel and not looking bad. And here is your PayPal. And that is pulled back down at the bottom. We'll just let it get set up down here. They do have earnings coming up on the 28th. So you do have a lot of earnings coming up in next week as well. When's the 28th? That is in 2 weeks. I'm sorry. It's in Tuesday in 2 weeks, just before, obviously, Mischief Night and Halloween. So that'll be the last week of October, and a lot of earnings going on right there, including PayPal. And let's look at Intel. It was jumping up a little bit today, and I'm not so sure it's ready to really get ripping again. It was in the top. It almost looks like that wants to pull back, and their earnings are coming up on the 23rd. So there'll be what, next week right there, the 15th. Yeah, the 23rd is next Thursday. So we'll have to keep an eye on Intel going into that. Dell right here was up, and that's not looking too bad to try to curl off. We have been liking Dell, IBM trying to bounce right back up there. And again, they don't look perfect, but they are trying to keep themselves up. Palantir, remember we said watch for any dips right there. They're going to be good. And Sophie's going to get set up also. Watch for dips. Look at it trying to curl up. Not sure if it's ready to rock and roll. It doesn't look bad, though, I must say. But watch for them dips. And Mara and Riot, look at these things running up to the top again. Here is Riot. It jumped up, hit the resistance. I did see that one. And CleanSpark was still running up. So Look at that thing way up in the top. It's pretty crazy. And MicroStrategy still struggling down here as Bitcoin's pulling back. So there you go with that one. And that is MSTR, good old strategy. And Robinhood is still pulling back a little bit. And looks like it has a little pullback in it. Coinbase still pulling back. And of course, Bull was pulling back a little bit. But I bought some options today down here. And like I said, they're in my long-term account. What I put them in February, I think January or February, I forget. I posted it in the Discord, so you guys saw that. But yeah, I did buy some options down there, and I'll add to them if it dips down a little bit more. I'll keep adding more options because I do think Webull is going to be a great opportunity, and obviously going to get ripping up there. It's going to double itself with no problem, that's for sure. So there you go. Grab some of those options too, but for late January they were. So yeah. And that's Webull right there. So banking that it's gonna start moving at the end of the year right here. And like I said, look at it. It's way down here. I think you got a good opportunity. Might grab some more and then make them into like February a little bit later just to keep them going there. So we will definitely be keeping you updated on that. Like I said, but I've been telling you, I do like Webull. I think it's going to be a good opportunity from down there to run up. That's for sure. And it is probably the best trading app. I got to say that. So if you're not using it, you should be because it's amazing. That's the one I've been using. It's great. And Space right here did spike up this morning and it's in the top. We'll see what it wants to do right there. But that was a nice run up. Boeing just kind of hanging out here, trying to get set up as well. And DJT, I know Michael Anthony said he was buying this on the dips right here. So there you go. It is pulling back, and I'll tell you what, it's not looking too bad to get set up fairly soon for DJT. And you know, when that sets up, the market will start running. And here's Funware, and that usually does what the DJT wants to do. It is just kind of pulling back a little bit right there. And like we said, McDonald's was running up a little bit, hitting the 50, not looking bad though. So that is looking good. Disney was up today, and surprisingly, but I don't think it's getting through that MACD. So I do think you're going to see Disney kind of come down. So watch for that to pull back possibly tomorrow. Here's your Oxy still down there, OXY, and ExxonMobil was down today. So there you go. And here's some oil and gas ones, BP. That's way down there. CVE is that's CVX is Chevron. What's that one? I don't even know, some energy company. And let's just see what's going on real quick. That one didn't look bad. NFG, National Fuel. That's looking pretty good. And SkyQ, I did see that one earlier. And let's see, TTE, there's that VIVK right there looking pretty good. So a couple of them not looking bad. And there's some in every sector that don't look bad right there. So there you go at our Mag 7 big caps and all them guys that we look at and our SPY. Let's see what you guys want to see. Let me cruise right here. There was an issue with the YouTube at the beginning of the show, but that worked its way out. And Toronto way up there. The Blue Jays look like they were scoring some runs. It looks like it's 5-2 right now. And it is 5-2, bottom of the third with 2 outs. So the Mariners are up. And it looks like they just flied out. And that's going to be the inning right there. So Blue Jays coming back and up on this game 5-2 right there. So it seems like a good game. And Seattle does lead the series 2-0, and they're playing at home right now. So we'll see if the Blue Jays can take a game away. That would be cool. And here we go. And so, yeah, there was an error at the beginning of the show, but it is working finally. And let me see what else is going on right here. We are talking about GALT and some other ones, TSM, eagerly awaiting earnings. Will get an AMD-like rip, or will it be more muted regardless? Luis Rodriguez is going to be up at 4 a.m. with his popcorn to watch that unfold because TSM is early. And that PZZA, like I said, that was we were talking about that one this morning. So we were just looking for that buyout if it happens right there. And then we were talking about Salesforce and all that, AIP. That was looking pretty good right there. We went over that semiconductor one. It was in the Discord. And Duolingo, Luis Rodriguez does like this. And it is cruising up there looking pretty good, guys. So resistance way up there. And there you go with Duolingo. That one could be a nice little one that could run a little bit more tomorrow as well. And what's your TerraWolf up to? Let's see. TerraWolf right here. That is spiked up. Again, you got to be really careful when these things are that far up there. You guys know I have a hard time getting them up here and and buying them when they're that high up there and that extended. So just be careful with that TeraWulf. But it has been running up, that is for sure. And we were talking about that new X chat being completely encrypted and all kinds of good stuff. And CoreWeave has some big news on October 30th. Shareholders vote to approve the merger of Coors. So I didn't even realize that they were going to merge Coors, CORZ, Core Scientific, and CoreWeave. It looks like they're going to merge soon. So that's what somebody, Luis Rodriguez, was just saying. They just have to have that shareholder approval, it looks like. So that'll be interesting. Here you go. Core Scientific schedules October 30th stockholder vote on all stock merger with CoreWeave at 0.1235 exchange ratio, according to the SEC filing. I'm not sure exactly what that even means, but that ratio anyway. But that is happening. So there you go. That is the news for CRWV and CORZ right there. And you think Google's ready for the next leg up. It is not looking bad right there for the Googles. And they do look like they want to jump up. They have that resistance at 259, but it certainly could get up there. That's for sure. And again, that pizza we were looking at, Papa John's right there. So we'll be watching that one in the morning. You know that. We'll take a look at PZZA and make sure we go through that. Oracle ended with my favorite candle. We were already talking about that one. And it did have some doji candles all over the place right there. Oracle did bounce back a little bit. Is that Solaris? Yeah, Solaris was way up there today. I did see this one. And that's a biotech company. Look at that thing. And that one does not look bad for tomorrow. That could continue its way up there, SLRX. So you can keep an eye on that to continue its way up. Utah Uties, that one was looking good. And UWE right here. Let's see, Nuwellis. That's not looking bad either to get set up and could possibly get jumping real soon with Nuwellis, NUWE. Yeah, look at that thing trying to get up into that 20 and get cruising. So that one's looking pretty good. And BioX right here is a basic materials agriculture, and that's cruising up there today by BIOX, BioSears Crop Solutions. And look at that thing running and looks pretty good. So there's three of them looking pretty good right there, but BioX looking nice, I must say. So you can keep an eye on that one, and that could keep that momentum going up to that 50 right there. So that one's looking pretty good for BioX. Three nice ones right there, Utah Uties, and we were talking about SoundHound. It does look like it wants to go higher, but again, it's just sitting into the top right there. We've seen it come right out. We'll have to see. I guess market conditions will factor that one in. And SMR, we were talking about that guy, and it jumped up today. And what about ARM right here? It's still kind of strong. It looks like it's trying to crawl up right there, not looking bad. Hims and Hers had some news today. Announced the launch of a menopause and perimenopause care services, marking a major product expansion that has driven a significant surge in its stock price. So that they announced that today, and that could continue to run up right there for HIMS. And let's see, Twitchy Turkey, who is that? And not even sure who that is. And let's see, grab some of those options. Oh yeah, we were talking about some options on bull right there. And again, I just think that's going to be a good opportunity. It's way down here, guys, so we'll have to see if that gets curled up, but it should. And like I said, I bought them out a little bit further. So in the January, ARM and Meta announced a partnership today to enhance AI efficiency across software and data center infrastructure. So there you go with that, ARM and Meta. And there you go. Meta taps ARM Holdings to power AI recommendations across Facebook and Instagram. So that's why ARM was looking pretty strong. Meta looks pretty good. And everybody's teaming up, guys. Like I said, every single company, they're all working together. That's for sure. And we already see it happening. And hoping Oracle was going to move after their conference, and it was kind of stagnant that they had their conference. Wasn't that going on like a couple days or something? I forget what was going on there. But anyway, let's see. Microsoft's head of cloud predicts an explosion of AI use. Oh, really? That's good. Well, yeah, now Oracle looking pretty good, was rebounding its way up today. We'll have to see what that looks like in the morning, if it can really get cruising. And how is Michael Anthony this evening? And what were you saying? If futures turn red, that Trump told India they better stop buying Russia oil, and that oil will bounce. I didn't even see that news right there, Michael Anthony. So that might have happened. I have no idea, but we appreciate you letting us know. And I'm just looking at the futures right now. S&P is down 0.02%. Dow's up 0.06, and Nasdaq's up 0.03. So, but it does look like the Mag 7 is all down right there. It looks like in the after hours in the post anyway, or overnight hours, whatever, according to the Yahoo Finance app, and it's usually pretty accurate. And TSM is the earnings are tomorrow morning, Michael Anthony, and they're pretty early because these guys are over in Taiwan, so they'll probably be like first thing in the morning, maybe 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I have no idea, but they definitely have them pretty early in the morning for TSM. So you can wake up early with laptop travel. Luis Rodriguez said he'll be up, and you guys can listen to TSM. It does look pretty good, I must say. Going into the earnings, HPE selling off in after hours and had some type of conference call. And let's see what happened. HPE, what is that? Hewlett Packard. I couldn't think of the name. And it did sell off in that after hours. You're absolutely right. And let's see, their revenue growth to slow in the next fiscal year. Wow, what are they doing? I guess they're not doing anything with AI the right way, that's for sure, if they're expecting revenue to slow down. But yeah, wow, look at Hewlett Packard. Are they just a printer machine company? I have no idea. I forget. But yeah, that's dipping down right there. I would have think that they would have all kinds of stuff going on. They've been around for a while. Hewlett Packard, however the heck you say the name of it. But yeah, that is dipping down. And DJT, you say it should pop back to 17. It's looking pretty good on that trend line. I was saying you said you were buying it on these dips right here, and I could see it popping back up there. Michael Anthony, Buru dropped today in Joseph Levy's hoping that one recovers. Let's take a look. Buru had been run up there in the top. That is coming down. You'd have to wait to see if it's going to roll off that MACD right here. So we'll see if it does get that smooth transition tomorrow and it can roll off of there. And the mineral stocks definitely sold off today, like I'd been saying. Be careful with these things. Look at CRML, critical metals, down pretty good right there. And a bunch of them are down right there. Oh, there's Twitchy Turkey. Nice. I talked to SDOT. Yeah, I had to call in to get rid of SDOT, guys. It was like stuck in my account. So Twitchy Turkey, how are you this evening? Yep, I definitely talked to him today, and he definitely helped me get rid of that thing. Like I said, I was getting that out of my account, and I'm using my one account as a long-term account because, like I told you guys, if you're going to be trading daily, use Webull. It's by far the best platform. I don't know what all the other companies are up to, especially like E-Trade. I've used E-Trade my whole life. Now, this one's an IRA account, so again, it's a long-term account anyway, and I used to obviously, you guys know I traded penny stocks pretty heavily, so I had some in there, and they were in there for a while. I had a couple in there that obviously reverse split. They were way down, including this SDOT one. It was in there for a little while, and I hadn't really messed with that account probably since I got hit in the head. And I was like, you know what? That account's becoming a long-term account, and I'll just run some options. I put my Webull options in there today. As a matter of fact, I bought a couple of them, and I will get some more Webull options, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I was talking to this gentleman, and Twitchy Turkey. It's a pretty funny handle right there. But yeah, I was talking to him and telling him about the show and everything, and we had a good conversation. He was a great guy helping me out. So he actually works for Merrill, right? Yeah, that's the account I have. I have a Merrill Edge account, but I've had it forever, guys. 18 years, I think I've had that account. He said, thanks for being a customer for 18 years. Anyway, you guys know I've been doing it for a while. That account used to be huge, and then it came way down, and I had taken some money out of it too, but yeah, I kind of just let it go, not paying attention. And you guys know you got to pay attention to these things. I told you I've made every mistake a million times, but it's all good. We laugh about it and then we get better at it. So, yeah, I'm trying to, I know his name. I have it written down, but I won't say. But yeah, I was telling him my story, how I got hit in the head and what happened to the account. But yeah, that account was well over 6 figures at one point, and then it came pulling back. And like I said, I had taken some money out of it at one point as well. But yeah, I told her, I was like, watch this account in 3 months, watch how high I build it right back up there. So yeah, I was talking to him and I had to have him help me because I haven't used the account in so long that I like couldn't even like sell things. It was kind of bizarre. And then they said that Merrill, they're pretty strict too. That's why I don't really use the account very often anymore. They're kind of strict on what you can buy. They'll, you know, penny stocks anymore, they don't really let you trade them as much. Let's put it that way. They used to just let you trade them and go wild. And like I said, I used to go crazy with penny stocks and trade them in like 3 different accounts. That was one of them, and just run around and make the accounts grow. But so yeah, they kind of put restrictions on some of these penny ones and smaller cap ones, I'll say. So I had to call up and have them actually do the trade. It was like I was trading old school, guys, but I had to call up and have them, and I was like, yo, just sell this thing while it's up today because I know it's coming back down. And yeah, it was like around $10 or something. I was like, just sell it for whatever it's worth right at this moment. I could care less. I just don't want to look at it in my account anymore. So yeah, that is but yeah, Twitchy Turkey, good handle. I'll remember that you. So yeah, appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, I had a great conversation with him today. Like I said, I won't even mention his name, but he works for Merrill Edge, and he's one of the trade specialist guys. And like I said, I had to have him fix my account for me, and he certainly did. He helped me out, and now my account's all good. I bought some Webull options in there, and I put them into January. Like I said, I'll probably put some more in there, and buy them out a little bit further because I do think Webull is going to be a great. I mean, look at this thing, way beaten down, way down here at the bottom. You know, that's exactly where we like it, and it's going to get shooting up here. And even if it's in the middle of November, or December, and it starts rolling up, we're perfectly fine because we have our options in the January, and we'll get some in the February, and we'll be good to go. So there you go. But yeah, that's Twitchy Turkey, and appreciate you tuning in. That's for sure. So yeah, I definitely had great conversation with him today, and I was telling him about my head injury and what happened to my account. I was laughing about it, and he probably thought I was pretty crazy. And I was like, well, the account was pretty big at one point. I took some money out and then obviously lost a few dollars on some of these at reverse split, and they were just completely diluted down there. And I'm like, all right, just get rid of these damn things. I don't even want to look at them. I could care less. And I'll make that account big again. So there you go, guys. That definitely happened today. I tell you guys about everything. And yeah, so I told you I sold my S dot, and yeah, I didn't even realize it was so diluted down there. It was definitely for a loss, but I didn't even care. I didn't even want to look at it anymore, and it did pop up. So it was worth a couple bucks, but nothing too crazy. And again, I wasn't worrying about it one way or the other. And like I said, that account I'm just going to use long term, build it right back up. And I'm using my E-Trade the same way. I did the exact same thing in E-Trade, kind of cleared it all out. And yeah, just kind of started fresh. And in my Webull, I just been kind of murdering that account and having a great time in that one. And I'm telling you guys, if you're not using Webull, you probably should look into it because it's by far the best platform. You guys know I've been using all these things for a very long time, over 20 years, that's for sure. And I don't understand how the other companies, and I get Merrill Edge, they're not really like one of the premier, like I said, I've had this account forever, guys, and it's an IRA. So it's not like I wouldn't really even trade it that often like I do now, like I used to in there. I wouldn't do that now as I'm older, and I just build up the account and make it a retirement account at this point. I have a few other accounts. It's crazy. And, so yeah, I just started kind of cleaning them all up and saying, you know what, let's just work around and just build them all up, and that's how it works. So you guys know that's what I do, and it's fun stuff. And so yeah, that's what happened today. But appreciate you hanging out here, Twitchy Turkey, and great handle right there. So when I see you hop on, I know exactly who it is. And POLW right there is PAL Industries. And let's see, that one does look good. We've been looking at that. Electrical part ones looking pretty good. Webull much better. Joseph Levy said he switched and much more info available and accessible. Yeah, guys, like the options, they make it so much easier to trade options. It tells you everything. It breaks it all down like in a second for you. And just everything is just way easier. It's just It's just user friendly, the app and everything, and even the platform online. Very user friendly, and they kind of dummied it down so that everybody could understand everything and make it real quick and easy. And yeah, and then you can trade between 4 a.m. and 8 p.m. with no problems. I've traded the extended hours like it's normal time. It's crazy. And you can't do that on any other account. That's why I was saying earlier I had to wait and at least until like 7, but I actually had to wait until like 9 because I realized I could. I tried to get in there to sell it this morning and S dot, and that's why I said I ended up having to wait until later. I had to call them up and get them to actually do it for me because it wouldn't even let me do it in that account. It was pretty comical. So yeah, I was just laughing with the gentleman, and we had a good little conversation while he was fixing my account for me. So yep, greatly appreciate you helping me today, Twitchy Turkey, and thanks for hanging out on the show. You definitely said you would check it out, and you certainly did. You held up to your word, and appreciate you hanging out. So yeah, tell all your other colleagues and stuff about it, and see, they'll probably enjoy the show as well, considering what you guys do for a living. And Twitchy Turkey, if you ever have a question, you know where to find us, and you can ask us anything. Like I said, I walk everybody through. And as a matter of fact, you want to hear a great story real quick? Joseph Levy right here. This guy hit me up a couple weeks ago. He's in the Discord, asked about how to trade options. We did an option video and trying to teach everybody our different methods. He took the bull by the horns and said, you know what? I'm going to start doing options. And this dude, he smashed his first option, Big Bear BBAI, over 176% in 2 days. And he hasn't looked back. And I'm telling you, he's made a significant amount of money in just like a couple weeks. He just keeps making his account grow each day. And it's beautiful. And we love stories like that. And like I said, we're going to help everybody do that. And you guys know Robin's been doing well. And it doesn't happen overnight, guys. It does take a little time. And again, you got to get into that routine, that rhythm, and get that mindset right. It's all about it, having a positive attitude, mindset. It's probably why the reason I am sitting here today, guys. You know my story, how I got hit in the head, and I never gave up. I just went through cognitive therapy and then made an entire show, which is cognitive therapy for me. So like I said, I've done more cognitive therapy than anyone on the planet probably, because I was doing this thing in my in therapy, and I was like, man, if I had just do this with stocks, I'd probably actually care about it and do it for a while. And came home and just started doing a show on X Spaces. And that's how the show started. And what was that, May 31st? And we've been doing it for over a year. Laptop Travel hopped on the first show. I'm pretty sure Luis Rodriguez was on the first show as well. And they've never, ever like left. And I'll tell you what, Asian Jolie, probably first show as well. She does the Jolie's jumpers every morning. She's been doing that for over a year for us, and Laptop Travels list and everything else. So yeah, guys, it's a lot of fun. But again, I just kind of started doing the show just to help my brain a little bit better, and then it evolved into something really fun. And now we have great story time. Michael Anthony hops on, he's great, and of course, Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez, Doge Mama 9. We do sports scores, we do everything, and I tell you crazy stories about my life, because you guys know my life's insane. And so yeah, and I just let you know what not to do in trading. Like don't look at your account for like 2 years after you get smacked in the head, because when you look at it, there's going to be a lot of them down that reverse split, and you're going to go, holy cow, now I need somebody to like adjust this account and actually fix it for me, because I can't even do it myself. And yeah, that's what happened right there. So funny stuff. And again, I just laugh about it. It's all good. So how much cash does the MIRA have? My IRA, it had a few thousand. I think, what was it? It was like around like 10 G's or something. I forget exactly what's in it, but there was a few grand. And like I said, the thing was well over 6 figures at one point. I had taken some money out and used it to obviously live for a little while. And then yeah, a couple of them did their old reverse split and all that good stuff and came down. So yeah, there was a few losses in there, but like I say, it is what it is. It's no big deal. I'm not worried about it. Like I told the gentleman, I said, hey, I'm blessed to be alive. So that's just funny money to me. Again, you guys even know I've always told you, and again, that was already profit money from before. So I was losing profits, to be completely honest with you. Not the end of the world to me. And but yeah, like I said, I'm just blessed to be alive and be be able to even do anything at this point. So yeah, just to be able to open up the account, see that I had money in it, and be like, oh, you know what, I can turn this into a lot more if I actually did something with it instead of just let it sit here. So there you go. That's what I started to do, and I'll make that account grow right back up to where it used to be with no problem. And yeah, that'll just be like a retirement account. So there you go. That's what happened there. And again, our my buddy there that goes by Twitchy Turkey, he helped me out today. He was great. Aflac right here dipping down. I should have had Aflac when I got hit in the head. Apparently, I would have. They would pay for a lot of stuff. I'd never had it, but I just have regular insurance. But anyway, Aflac. It seems like it's a pretty good idea if you're like me and you get smacked in the head and you get hurt often. I think they like pay you for your injuries or something. I'm not exactly sure, but let's see what they're up to. AFL, and that is Aflac. It is pulling back. I'm not exactly sure why, Michael Anthony. I don't see anything with our AI news up there, and down here, nothing real crazy. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure why Aflac's pulling back, but let's see what else is going on here. And yeah, so I did get rid of SDOT. Like I said, I had that one for a while. It used to be something, it was called something else before SDOT. I forget what the heck it was. They were Muscle Maker. There you go. It was down there. And it was something before Muscle Maker, I think, as a matter of fact. I forget what it might have been before that. But they used to be like a ghost kitchen or something. Whatever the heck that was. Grill, that was what it was. Used to be Grill. And then they had changed their name over to Muscle Maker. And then, like I said, it was like a ghost kitchen. Remember that was like all the wave for a little while. People would open up these ghost kitchens, and all these different people would come in and be able to cook products and use that kitchen. And then they changed the SATIC group, and I'm not exactly sure what they even do. Farm products, I have no idea, but it jumped up yesterday on that news, and obviously and now if it wants to pop around and look good or whatever, we have no problem trading it. I have nothing in it anymore, and we catch it at the bottom and run it up. So yeah, that did happen, guys, and that's how I was talking to Twitchy Turkey today. And again, I won't say his real name because he actually has a real job and a career, and I don't want him getting messed with or anything. There's like a gnat flying around. I'm like, where the hell did that gnat even come from? Is he like hibernating down here? I have no idea. But anyway, here we go. Let's cruise through and see what's going on. And like I said, Webull, by far the best. Nothing against your services at Merrill. Obviously, I've used them for over 18 years, and I use it as a long-term account. It's an IRA anyway, but yeah, it is what it is. And but yeah, I'm telling you, Webull by far the best platform. If you're going to be trading on the Dowie or even anything, options, whatever you're going to be doing, I'm telling you, Webull is really good there. Webull stop loss setting is nice. Everything about it, Central Florida Gardening, is really good, I must say. So that's I've done way better since I started trading on Webull. I'm not gonna lie. I think it had to do with the platform. It just moves faster. It's faster than E-Trade was ever. I mean, it's crazy. Sometimes you would set your sells and like an E-Trade, it seemed like there was a delay or something. Like you were in this long line waiting for something to happen, and then all of a sudden Webull, you put it in, it's like almost instantaneous. Everything, even in the extended hours, after hour, it doesn't even matter. It just happens, and you're just like, well, that was great, and I'll move on to the next one. So I have found that Webull is very, very user-friendly, and especially for what we're doing, especially if you're on at 4 a.m. in the Discord with Laptop Travel and the 4 a.m. Warriors, you absolutely need it. The only other one that does it is with that IBKR, Interactive Brokers Group. And like I said, Tim Skies was bitching about them the other day, saying he wasn't even going to use them anymore. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. It looks like it's pulling back right there, but yeah. I would say it isn't as big as Webull, that's for sure. I never really hear people talking about that Interactive Brokers or whatever it is. So there you go. And let's see what else is going on. Luis Rodriguez, some overnight runners right here, RYOJ. And what is that? That's a Japanese one, and it does look pretty good. It's a consulting company. It's fairly new right there, and it is trying to run around. So we'll keep an eye on that in the morning. SOND, Sonder Holdings. That's way down today, and then bouncing up there in the after hours. SOND, look at that bad boy. That could be a good momentum one. Laptop Travel and Crew in the morning. That SOND You might want to keep an eye on that. We'll look at it in the morning just to see where it's at our 7 o'clock right there. But that one could already be ripping. We looked at VVIK and Mira right here, that Dave Mira's company. Remember Mira Pharmaceuticals? It's not really his company, but we were just joking about it before. And that does look good. And that's a drug manufacturer one. So looking pretty good on that 20 right there to get cruising. That's not it right there. It's MIRA. And there you go. So yeah, $1.31 to $2.94. It's at 223 and looks pretty strong right there for MIRA. And there you are right there with Mira VIVK, if I could speak. That was popping up there. We already looked at that bad boy, and SafeX right here. Let's see, XCF Global. And that one not looking too bad in the after hours. It looks like it was trying to crawl up. It probably got right through that MACD right there for SafeX, I'd assume. And it certainly did right there. 20 and 50 looking good. I would say keep an eye on that, and I'll jot that one down right here for the morning. So we'll look at SafeX, Pizza, Mask, Path, SOND, a couple other ones, obviously, in our 7 a.m. And those of you just tuning in, I greatly appreciate it. We do this show. This is our night show, and we do it every Sunday night through Thursday at 8 p.m. And then we do a morning show, a pre-market show at 7 a.m. Monday through Fridays. And we cover the market every which way, guys, everything, crypto, you name it. We look at it all, that's for sure. The only thing I'm not really that great at are some of the OTCs. So we don't really look at the OTC market, but there has been some that we look at that are easy charts that we can pay attention to. As a matter of fact, the ones that Money Mark always throws out, like Gatekeeper and stuff like that, these are OTCers, and these are easy. And again, this one just pulling back a little bit. This is a great one right here, and I got into this one pretty early with Money Mark, and it had been running up. I'll probably look at it. It looks like it wants to roll off, and it still looks pretty safe up there, but I've been watching that Gatekeeper. So yeah, that's one of the there are some of the OTCs I can see, but and then I don't really play earnings too much, but I will say TSM is looking pretty good going into its earnings tomorrow morning. So we'll definitely look at that right there. And how much cash does Mira have? I don't know what Dave Mira has in his pocket, but let's see if it says anything down here. I'm not exactly sure. I generally don't look at any of this info down here, but it might say it. Hold on. Their short float. It doesn't really say how much cash they have. Cash. Cash right there. Is that like $250,000? I have no idea. The market value is only 25 million right there, and it says 0.04. So I don't know if they have much cash on hand at this company there, Michael Anthony. So I'm sure other Laptop Travel and Luis Rodriguez would probably tell you immediately. Again, I don't ever look at any of the info. That was probably some of the most info I've ever looked at on a company right there, to be honest with you. And so yeah, I have no idea, to be completely honest. So somebody will let us know how much cash Mira has. And let's see, Aflac was down, and Laptop Travel even suggested doing hotkeys on Webull and or other trading platforms. Haven't set up yours, but it looks like it's a big deal. You're right, I forgot all about that, Robin. We have to get Laptop Travel to talk about that one more time. I don't know if he's actually on tonight. Actually, as a matter of fact, happy birthday to Laptop Travel's his wife. It's her birthday today, so he might not even be on right now. I know they were. He hit me up. He was thrown off a little bit. That's why if you see at the very beginning, he had posted. He said, "Are we on?" And then he texted and said, "Are you doing the show tonight?" And it was like 7 o'clock, and I said, "Yeah, 8 o'clock." And he goes, "Holy cow, I am so confused, running around all day with my wife's birthday and the family." And I think his mother-in-law was probably coming over or something. So yeah, I know. Yep, he's not. He said he had some family time. I know he said he had some family coming over for his wife's birthday. So yeah, happy birthday to Laptop Travel's wife, and I hope they're enjoying the day. So yeah, he tried to hop on at 7 o'clock, guys. So yeah, he was running around. He was definitely out of it. But all good, and we appreciate everything Laptop Travel does. He did send over his Laptop Travel list and everything, and I'm sure we'll be on tomorrow morning with us. And like I said, Ben should be back tomorrow morning. I'll hop on with Ben in the morning, and we'll do our live thing, and then I'll see if he wants to do the afternoon trading. So we'll get back into that for you guys in the Discord. I know that's a lot of fun. And and we do pretty well with that. Like I said, today probably wasn't the best day. We probably should have picked some different ones that looked a little bit better, but that's how you live and you learn, I guess. So yeah, that's why I definitely, after today, I said, you know what? I knew what was going to run. I don't know why we didn't go through those exact ones. And let me make this list better as I go through it. So I'm more organized for the night note and the morning shows. So all that good stuff. So we'll make it even better. Like I said, I always try to improve things, as you guys see. So there you go with that. But yeah, happy birthday, Laptop Travel's wife. And I hope you guys are enjoying your evening there. So enjoy the night off, Laptop Travel. AREC did have a nice little dip there. Phil Trait, I did see that, and some of your coking coal ones. But again, that's why I keep telling you guys, AMR did, AREC, they all were kind of pulling back. I went through them earlier. As a matter of fact, when I saw AREC pulling back there. So yeah, I did notice them. And again, guys, when they're that far up here in the top, you guys know what I say. Lock in those profits. Could they go up higher? You're playing that probability and risk factor up here, guys. That's how I look at it. Once we get in the top, you're overextended over your 70 RSI, and then they're running up there for a while, guys. And if you get that big spike and you can just see it, and there's been a ton of them, guys. And that's why I tend to get out a little earlier, because I just don't trust them. I mean, look at RGTI when it was spiking up here. You would think, all right, the next day it's pulling back. I mean, you don't think that's pulling back? And yeah, it bounces back up, but you don't need to catch every single. And again, if you know it's going to pop up, you can easily buy it here and run it up that 2 days and get back out. But these things are so overextended. And when they come back down, guys, they're going to be down for a while, because they're going to have to get completely set up. And if you ever see the charts and just go back to history, look at them. Here you go. Back here, they were overextended. And then look how long it takes them to get back in there, guys. So again, you may see them continue to run up because we're just in an interesting time right now. But you do have to lock in those profits at all times and move on to the next play, the next one that's set up. So just letting you guys know. And I say it all the time. Trade smart and lock in those profits. And that's the reason why I always say it, because you just don't know. And we do. We play the probability and risk factors for everything. And again, LightPath was another good example. Yesterday it was popping up. I thought it was going to continue up, but I still sold some of my options. And then I was playing with house money. And then I sold the rest today. And could it continue to go up more and bounce up? It sure can. But I can certainly buy more options if I think it's going to really explode like that. But guess what? I made pretty good money on them options, and they were what, 2 days? What was it, Friday or Monday? I forget what day. Monday. So yeah, within 2 days you make they were well up over 40, 50, 60%. I know that. And today they were up even more. So yeah, you just got to lock them in, guys. And again, you just don't know that probability and risk factor. You just don't know when that market's going to exactly pull back. And you also don't know who has the most shares. And if they want to sell them, you know the price is coming back. And I learned that trading a lot of the penny stocks. Obviously, these are a little stronger. You got more people involved. But then penny stocks, somebody could be loaded up on it and make a fortune. And the minute they sell that thing's coming down like it's cruising down. It's flying right down. And then it's not coming back up unless somebody picks up a whole shit ton of shares, and nobody is, because now it's the sell-off and people got to lock in their profits, and everybody thought they were going to catch the top, but now it's dipping down, so it starts triggering off stop losses and algorithms and bots and everybody else, and that's what you see, guys. So it's easier to lock them in on the way up. And like I tell you, if you sell it and it keeps going up, you just laugh about it. You locked in your profits, and it's a good story. And I have the best story ever. You guys know FFIE. I literally called it. It went up over 8,000% in 10 days, guys. That's unheard of. We have been seeing some wild ones lately. But before that, it was basically unheard of. It was one of the biggest poppers you'd ever seen in 10 days. And I sold the majority at 2,000% to watch it go up another 6,000. Sold a little bit more. I still had some, but not like I had. And it's just a great story, and there's nothing you can do about it. I still did pretty well off of it. I'm not going to lie. Would I have done a lot better? Of course, but I'm still alive here telling the story, and I did just fine. So that's the way you got to look at it. And again, you got to take the opportunities that are provided, given to you at that moment, and then just look at that risk factor and probability and say, hey, if I have to make the best choice I can make, with data I have presented to me, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and I'm pretty decent at looking at charts, but you still just never know. And I was looking at that like, man, it still wants to run, but at 2,000%, how much more does it have in it? It had another 6,000 in it, guys. So you just don't know, but it could have easily. How many do you see really do that? Not really very often. So when you play that probability and risk factor, and you see these things way in the top, way overextended, and you got major profits going on, it sucks when you start giving them back. And again, I just told you the story that happened in my account. I gave back a lot of profits there. Like I said, I'd taken out a bunch of money, but yeah, I bought a few and they all reverse split. They were like penny ones. They were smaller cap ones. And then I got smashed in the head and I didn't even remember this account. I remembered I had it, but just didn't even use it. It wasn't like even in my, you guys know what happened to me. So I wasn't really paying much attention to it. I was just trying to stay alive. And now I'm trying to be more coherent and do a little better. So yeah, I was like, I should probably look at this thing. And honestly, I knew that I had S dot and the thing was running up. I didn't even know where it was. I didn't know what I like. Again, it had reverse split like probably twice. And so yeah, it was super diluted, obviously. And I'm like, I just got to get rid of that thing. And that's how I ended up talking to Twitchy Turkey there. And yeah, he was a great guy. And we just had a funny conversation. He probably thought I was insane, but again, he's checking it out. He checked out the show, and now he can see I'm completely insane. You guys know I'm a little crazy, but in a good way. And yeah, here we are. And we're just doing a show, having a good time. You guys know that. So yeah, Laptop Travel's enjoying his family time. It's his wife's birthday. And let's see what else is going on. Mirror doesn't disclose how much cash they have, but they do have negative cash flow, indicating they are burning through cash, Luis Rodriguez said. So there's your answer there, Michael Anthony. And why not look at the last earning report, try to find out. Well, I knew somebody would give it to us. And again, I don't even know. To be honest with you, Michael Anthony, what company were we looking at? Mirror? I would have to go like this, I guess. Over here, and it's a 0 for the revenue. So I have no idea what that would even mean, to be completely honest with you. And so, yeah, I couldn't have told you anything. I was surprised that I got down here and noticed that they even had cash. And yeah, they don't have much sales right there. Income looks negative. I don't know what's going. They're just burning through cash. A lot of these drug manufacturers and stuff like that, biotech companies, they burn through cash and then they dilute the company and they reverse split it, just like Saturday did a million times before. And you can see it recently reverse split. So I got hit in that split. I'm sure I got hit in that split. And yeah, there was 2 of them right there. Like I said, 2 splits right there. You're not you're not recovering that money, guys. We already know they reverse split. You're getting diluted out. Yeah, my shares were probably like almost like $100 a share at that point. I forget what it was. It was probably close to it. I honestly completely forget. I don't even know if I even looked at it this morning, to be completely honest, what it was even at. But I know it was down, and I was just like, get rid of this damn thing while it's popping up for a day. And I don't care. I don't even care if it does shoot up higher. It might. It could bounce right back up there, but again, I wasn't worrying about it. So it was an old one in my account that needed to be gone. I should have let go of that one a long time ago and just taken the little tiny loss instead of watching it bleed down. And again, I hadn't looked at it for like 2 years. So that's what will happen, guys. And now you know, if you don't look at your account, you know that they're going to be way down on you because they will all reverse split unless you're buying like a bunch of Tesla or something like that, which I probably should have done. But again, I used to trade in that account and then obviously stopped when I got smashed in the head. So there you go. That's just what happened, and not a big deal. Like I said, I'll build the account right back up. I'm not worrying about it, and there's plenty of cash in it to work with, so it's fine. And so yeah, that was my story from today, and what I had to do that for a little bit. So yeah, all kinds of good stuff always going on in life. Go QUBT right here, pulling back today. It does look like it wants to pull back. Let's see right here. QUBT, that is your quantum computing. Yeah, look at these things. They do look like they want to pull back a little bit. So we could see some pullback. And again, the SPY didn't look bad today, but it doesn't look great. And we know it's going to be choppy and run around. We're not getting that complete curl up tomorrow, that's for sure. So you could still extend down. You could start to curl up, but we still know they'll bounce around a lot as they curl up right there. So that is what we're looking right there in your SPY and in your Qs right here. They weren't looking too bad today. Like I said, they were up early, came down 11:15 was your bottom, and then they ran back up. So they didn't look too bad right there. And the Qs were looking a little better than the SPY. It is on the up over to 20. But again, look at this. You still have that curl up period. It looks pretty good, but it could easily dip down and jump around there a lot. So we will be keeping an eye on it, obviously, tomorrow. And the Blue Jays are up 8-2. Thank you, Luis Rodriguez. I forgot to update you guys. And yeah, that game's getting explosive right there, huh? 8-2 at the end of the fifth. The Blue Jays are just putting on a hitting clinic, it looks like. So the Blue Jays will be back up, it looks like, if it's the end of the fifth. So we'll be coming to the top of the sixth right there. 8-2, the Blue Jays beating up the Mariners at home. So that's interesting. And Michael Anthony said we need to find companies with plenty of cash and no debt helps. Yeah. Like company like Tesla right here, they're pretty good for that. And a lot of these Mag 7 companies. And again, if I had known I was going to get racked in the head, I probably would have just put all that money in Tesla 2 years ago and then not worried about it. And it would have been perfectly fine. But that's not what I used to do. But now I do. I trade differently now, guys. You guys know that. So I just kind of reevaluated things and said, hey, we can make that account big. We can make all the accounts big. You guys see what Joseph Levy's doing. Everybody can do it. Trust me. There's all the opportunities are there, and we give them out nonstop. And again, you're not going to have every day is not going to be perfect. We already know that, but we beat the market almost most days, generally like 8, 9 out of 10. We're beating the market. So when you can do that, you keep them losses minimum. So if you get in one and it doesn't look right and it just starts dipping down a little bit and you're like, I don't like that setup at the moment, it may curl back up and be fine. Jump out of it real quick. Just take the small loss instead of watching it and wasting your time with it and it bleeding down or not doing what you wanted it to do. And then reallocate that money to a winning trade and you make back that loss real quick and usually do really well. So you guys know what we do at AMD with the options here. And all you got to do is focus on them setups, hit a couple other ones during the week. And if you do that, your accounts will just keep on growing, guys. And again, we knew Genprex was running this morning. We were talking about it last night. It looked great. It ran up over 200% today. I mean, that'll make your account grow real fast right there. So yeah, it's we're going to really nail the market. And again, I'm going to make the list a lot more organized for everybody on the night note, the Discord, and everything else. So you guys will know exactly what's going to be great to play. And I'll get on in the morning for the Discord so everybody knows with Ben and Laptop Travel. So yeah, we'll definitely make it even better, guys. We always try to take it to the next level all the time and constantly make it better. So I think we're going to. And obviously, I think the markets are going to be heating up right here. We're in a government shutdown, too. And honestly, it looked like they were going to try to resolve it right there between the 31st and the 3rd. And that definitely didn't happen because that November 16th plus went nuts today, guys. I mean, it just came out of nowhere and just got crazy. So that one curled up big, and it doesn't look like they're resolving the government shutdown anytime soon either. Not that it really matters. I mean, everything's working pretty fine, and you're still going to get a rate cut right there. I mean, look at that rate cut, 95%. Going into October 29th right there. And even December 10th is like way up there. And again, I just don't think that one, I mean, you could have that look. They'll come down and meet. I don't think they're going to cross paths. It doesn't have that jump off a cliff look. And again, that's in December, guys. That's a far away. So you got plenty of time. But yeah, we're definitely getting rate cuts. And they don't have a choice. The government shut down. They just have zero choice. I explained this before the government shut down. And you guys can see what I'm talking about with the poly market charts. RGTI right there. If you recall, RGTI took a while to consolidate before ripping. It sure did right there. And then it just got ripping. Look, and then it got right here in that little path, and then bam, it just got ripping up there. So yeah, this thing, look at this thing in the top. I mean, holy cow, guys, you want to talk about a long time? What's that? September 16th, September 15th. We're still in the top. A full month right there. September, October, bam, this thing stayed in the top. That's pretty impressive. You don't see that very often. I'm not going to lie. It was up here almost for a full month there at the end of last year. So you're getting these type of runs, and then you do get a little pullback, but again, the market is just kind of swinging around, and there's all kinds of opportunities right now. Our mag 7's pulling back, and they'll be getting ripping as these other ones, these semiconductors and other ones, are pulling back. This will start bouncing up, and other sectors will do this exact same thing, and then your semiconductors will get set back up and they'll start running again. So yeah, we're just going to play the market just as it wants to be played. And then obviously this balloon wants to go as far as it wants with AI, and when it wants to pop, we'll take the market down with it. So we are definitely going to be playing the market every which way and trying to play it obviously as safe and locking in those profits. So yeah, I'm going to try to make it even better for everybody in the Discord. So that way everybody has every ample opportunity to hit every single popper every single day and trade the way that benefits your lifestyle. Let's put it that way. So there'll be plenty of opportunities and plenty of different styles. You guys know that. And obviously, anyone ever has a question, you just shoot me a message on X, send me a DM, and I obviously respond to everybody, and we'll walk you right down the right path, just as we did with Joseph Levy and a few other people. So yeah, just don't feel bad. Hit me up if you do have any questions about anything. Disney announced hikes this week for services, including Disney Plus and Hulu. So there you go. And I do use Hulu, actually. I kind of like Hulu. It's pretty good. And I did try the YouTube TV. I didn't really like that as much. More people, I feel like that. I was telling my friends, and they're like, "Oh, we all use YouTube TV," and I was like, "Well, I like Hulu a little better." And but anyway, I guess it's all your preference and what you do like. And the Blue Jays game 8-2 still, and the Blue Jays have guys on what? They have guys on base. I know that, first and third possibly. So I'm not exactly sure. Second and third. Oh, did they score? Somebody, yeah, they must have scored another run. 8-2. I'm not exactly sure. 9-2. There you go. They just changed the score. Yeah, it's 9-2. The Blue Jays just scored another run right there in the top of the sixth. So they're playing some good ball tonight, it looks like. But anyway, let's see. Apple or Disney raising prices. Apple has wads of cash. They sure do. I'm sure Nvidia has a lot of cash, even though they've been spending a ton. But they have a ton of money as well. Cash, what's that, like 2.3 billion probably, I bet. I don't even know what that all means, guys. So I have no clue. But yeah, all these Mag 7 companies, they all have cash. Apple definitely has a bunch of cash on hand. They always do as well. And that says 3.73. So yeah, I have no idea what any of that means. But anyway, there you go, Michael Anthony. So yeah, I agree. Money Mark picks some Canadian stocks, not as much as OTC. You are absolutely right about that, Central Florida. He does know a lot about the Canadian stocks, and I'm pretty sure he's Canadian, maybe. He lives there. I know Godfather is. Money Mark lives in like Florida, though, but I know he was like out of the country for most of the summer. He's all over the place. Again, guy retired in like 99 on the dot-com bubble, guys. So, and he does pretty well with his picks, I would say that, and he's great, Money Mark. So I've always tell you, follow Money Mark. Obviously, all the people on the small cap show, you guys know Ben, Laptop Travel when he's on there, and the Godfather, and Money Mark, and myself, and obviously Emp always hosts it for us, and he's awesome. Emp's really cool. I like Emp a lot. He's a great guy. And yeah, it's just a great show. And then we have some other guests. Lee has been coming on, some other people. Spartan comes on sometimes. And Ariel comes on. I like when Ariel comes on. He always talks about the banking sector and gives us like a totally different perspective. And I know he's licensed, so he can't give out any actual picks. And that's why it's great. I have zero financial background or licensing, so I can sit here and do it. And that's why I didn't really want to give out the gentleman's name today, because he's licensed, obviously, too. And I just didn't want to mess with anything like that. So that's why I just used his screen name, which was what was it again? Oh man, I totally forgot. I got Twitchy Turkey. That's what it is. So yeah, he's obviously a licensed broker, and licensed brokers can't necessarily go on and recommend any stocks. It's illegal for them to do it, and that's why obviously I don't have any licenses. So I can kind of sit here and tell you my opinion about anything. I don't have any financial background, degree, or anything like that. And you guys know it. I make it totally obvious and clear. I'm very open and transparent about everything. So you guys are fully in the aware that I've just been doing this for 25 years, looking at stock charts, and I'm just a dummy from a small town in New Jersey. But somehow I can read a stock chart even with a brain injury. But you guys do understand that, and that's why he is an investment specialist. But yeah, obviously I do my own investing for sure, but I did need his help to help me sell S dot out of my account today. So, and we were laughing, we were having like I said, we had a fun conversation. So I was telling him about the show, and he's like, oh, I'll check it out for sure. I said, yeah, just Google Dougie Fresh Picks, you'll see me. And he certainly did. So like I said, I greatly appreciate his help and him hanging out today. And that was awesome. So yeah, there you go. And Doge Mama 9 said has a friend that's a TSA worker. She got her last check last Friday, and all the workers have been offered these 1% loans, maybe 4%. That's all she can do now is the loans. That's pretty crazy. And I didn't even think about TSA workers because they're federal agents as well, aren't they? So I guess they are laid off. And who the hell's doing the who's protecting the airports? That's a good question right there. Really didn't think about that much, Doge Mama 9. So good insight right there. And Berkshire has the most cash is at Berkshire, you're saying. Yeah. I believe that because it's whatchamacallit's company right here, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company's like $744,000 right there. And that's just one of them, guys. He's got B too, which is a little bit cheaper. But yeah, if you want to get a Berkshire Hathaway stock, it's only over it's like 300,000, $750,000 is what I'm trying to say. $744,000 right there for one share of Berkshire Hathaway. So yeah, it's the most expensive ones on the market, that's for sure. But damn straight it should be, because look what Warren Buffett does. So he is the man. That's why he's a very wealthy guy. He got a lot of shares of Berkshire Hathaway. That's $744,000 a share, almost $750,000 for each one. Can you imagine having like 100 million of them, guys? I mean, there you go. You'd have a lot of money, that's for sure. So yeah, what do they have? Over 300 billion in cash, and yeah, and they have some short-term investments. So I would say so. Apple has 67 billion. Microsoft with 80 billion. I told you Microsoft is one of them companies. And Alphabet, Google has 101, and they probably made a ton of money just off of all their Google ads and stuff. So that makes a lot of sense. What about the ETF for airlines? JETS. Jets. They're not doing so well this year. But let's see. That one is curling up. Remember, we were talking about this. We were talking about that Fly, too. That's an aerospace and defense one. And that one's not looking too bad down there, Michael Anthony. So I know you had been looking at this. I was checking it out today. Just a little pullback running around. But we'll keep an eye on that Firefly right there as well. And let's see what else is going on. We went over our news. We looked at crypto already. Bitcoin is up a little bit from where we looked at it because it was at 110. And yeah, 111. I couldn't really read that, but again, I even said earlier, it could even touch that 107 again. Just watch for some dips as it gets set up, but we're pretty good, and it's going to continue its way up. Ethereum way down there. We already went through them. Solana wasn't looking too bad. It obviously has dipped down into the 195. So like I said, they're kind of pulling back up a little bit, jumping around. And we went through the rest of them. So there you go with them. And let's see what else is going on. Let's just look over here. We'll take a quick look and see what we have here. And that Genprex, that YYAI, you guys see why I said to be patient with it? Because it's been down like over 10% every single day. And I do think possibly tomorrow we could look for that curl up. So I did want to mention that one. I'm glad it was on the scanner right there, because I did forget to write it down. There's your Soxus, which is your semiconductor bear. And we should look at that one, give you a good idea. It is trying to get out and bounce around right here. Maybe the semiconductors try to bounce up tomorrow again. They're in territory where you want to play them almost on the daily, guys. Let's put it that way, and take them profits with you each day. That's for sure. So that's what they look like. and that is your SOXS. Here's Buru pulling back. We'll see if it wants to roll off. VIVK, look at that in the morning. Plug was pulling back a little bit. It was up in the beginning of the day. And that TOVX, we're watching that in the morning. RXRX was looking pretty good too. You can look at that. BITF, watch that one. Could be pulling back right there. And then VTS is running up. And let's see, our SQQ is kind of pulling down. That is their ultra short. Let's look at it. Oh, hold on. And see what it wants to do. And let's see. It is not looking bad. I don't know where this gnat came from. I'm telling you, he's driving me nuts. I've seen it like the last 2 days, and I'm not even sure. I thought I like tried to swat him away. I'm like, I don't know where he keeps coming from, unless there's a couple gnats down here and I got a spray. I never see a bug down here ever. And then all of a sudden there's like a gnat flying around. I'm like, where the hell did this gnat come from? But anyway, he's driving me nuts. He disappeared now. I was just trying to like float him away earlier, but I'm pretty sure I just crushed him in my hand because I wasn't trying to, but he was bothering me. So what am I going to do? And yeah, I have no idea where he came from. I guess he was trying to hibernate in my basement. Yeah, there's like no bugs down here ever, so I don't know where he came from. But anyway, that gnat had to go. He was making me insane. He was driving me crazy. I don't even know if you guys could see it, but he was like flying around my face. He was making me crazy. Anyway, that was the gnat, and he's gone. Check out this mask in the morning, guys. This thing's looking pretty good too. That jumped up on my radar earlier. Look at RGTI way up there, the Big Bear. That's even touching the top. Omar was running up there today. Remember DNN? I've told you about this one a million times, the uranium one, Denson Mines. I told you about this one when I was telling everybody about Open Door at 50 cents. So I was giving it out on the small cap show. Tilray wasn't bad. LAES, this ran up in the morning. I had it on the night note. It did pop up and then pull back. Open Door. AMD, like I said, looking pretty strong for tomorrow. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. That's for sure right there. And let's see, Archer right there, Aerospace and Defense. Here's your Soxel. And that's not looking bad. That is your semiconductors to try to run up here. Big dip on Friday, and they aren't looking too bad, but you could still have that pullback. Like I said, I don't really trust it a whole lot, so we'll obviously be watching it in the morning. LAC did kind of pull back. It jumped up first thing and then pulled back. And YDKG right there. Look at that big dip, and we'll have to watch that one for when it wants to get set up. QBTS is that D wave, and that was pulling back a little bit. It ran up, but it did pull back some. QuantumScape was running up QS, and there's that ADAP. Remember that one had run up before. It looks like it's trying to set up again right there. IONZ, I was telling you about that. That's the short IONQ ETF. And Cypher right here, we were talking about that running up. Nokia hadn't been bad running up there in the top. Let's just look over here real quick, see if anything else grabs my attention real fast. That PFAI was running up. And SOND, Saunders Holdings, way down there. We'll have to keep an eye at TOVX. Watch for that one. We talked plenty about SADC Group tonight, and so there you go, SDOT. And I told you all about SADC Group, and like I said, I think I've had it for over 2 years, and I think it had changed its name twice since I've had it, as a matter of fact. That's how long I had it for. And so, yeah, it was Muscle Maker. It was Grill and then Muscle Maker, and then they changed the stock ticker to SADC, SDOT. So, yeah, I know the company background on it because I held it for so long. Held it right through a whole entire brain injury, guys, and I still have one, but yeah, I finally got it out of my account today, and thank you for your help there. Turkey, whatever. I keep forgetting what it is. What was it again? Twitchy Turkey. I keep forgetting Twitchy. And so, yeah, thanks for your help. Coot right there jumped up, and again, we'll watch that VIVK for tomorrow. Seed was running today, and Genprex, you can watch that tomorrow. I might try to jump up a little more. We were talking about the Mira Pharmaceuticals right there. And there's HI. What is that one? I'm not even sure what that is, but it looked like it tried to jump up. Where'd it go? Hillenbrand. Not sure what that is, but it's way up here, guys. So it did jump up a little bit. And so you can keep an eye on HI. I just want to look at it over here and see what the heck it's doing. Yeah, it was jumping up there, and then yesterday, and then jumping up a little. I don't even know what the heck it's doing, to be completely honest with you right there. But anyway, that is what the market looks like. I'd say that's a pretty good market review right there. And let's see, well, your brain is healed and you don't have damage. Yeah, I have damage, Michael Anthony. Trust me. If you walked around with me for a day, you'd be like, "Are you kidding me? This dude knows how to do the stock market." Yeah, I'm telling you, I have plenty of issues. I'm telling you, I failed all the IQ tests, but they told me I lost over 30 IQ points. I'm telling you, Michael Anthony, when I sit in this chair, I do not think about anything that I'm talking about. You could tell if I try to think, I stumble on my words and stuff. It's just some energy that just comes out, guys. I'm telling you. I was thinking about the other day. I'm like, I don't even know how I sit there and do this, but it is. It's just some energy. If I had to actually think about it, it would never even happen. It's just I sit down, I put my emotions to the side, and then all of a sudden, whatever I'm saying, it just comes out. And we just run through stock charts and everything else. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to me. I find it pretty fascinating, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I can't look at like a strobe light or anything like that, all them lighting. Oh my God, I'm done. I get nauseous and feel like I'm going to like have a seizure. I like go in panic mode. I'm not even kidding. Black lights, I can't look at any of them. Any kind of lighting like that, I can barely see. Like I have 20/20 vision, but everything has like a what the heck's that even called? A shadow. I couldn't even think of that word. Everything like has shadows and things that don't even have a shadow I can't see. And if you put a bunch of letters together, I can't even read them. Like it's crazy. There's stuff that I absolutely just can't even read. I can only tell you what the first and last letter are. And if you put a bunch of numbers together, I can't read that either. Actually, handwriting this is way easier for me to read, because if all the type is the exact same, like I have kind of a tough time going down the SPY. I almost just kind of know the list. But yeah, you'll see I look at it and then I get lost because I can't find, because all the like it's all the same typing, the same font, and I just like it messes with me. I just can't see it sometimes. And I can read on this one really well, actually, on the one screen that the StreamYard comes up, and that's like the best screen for whatever reason. The lighting's like perfect on it. I have no idea what it is, and it's just an HP monitor, and it's by far the best monitor that I can read off of. So it works out great that I use it for the show. I hope nothing ever happens to this monitor, because yeah, other monitors I've changed like the color to everything, and they just aren't like, I can't read as well. It's the most bizarre thing. And yeah, brain injuries, I tell you all the time, it's weird. You just never know, like certain parts of your brain can just not work anymore. And like I said, my reading comprehension is so bad. I'm telling you, I read my little guys in kindergarten, I read them like a children's book. I just can't even comprehend what's even going on. I'm not even lying. You guys can tell I try to read stuff on here. I can read the word sometimes if it's not too long, but and you can tell I can't really pronunciate longer words or anything like that. They just don't come out. Like my eyes and my brain just don't match up anymore. It's bizarre, I'm telling you. And I can't work like I used to. I used to be an animal at work, and like I could go out and do crazy stuff, construction, digging, chopping stuff, whatever. I just can't do it. I can't swing an axe anymore. It hurts my head so bad. I like go into a fog. And yeah, if I get hit in the head, like even the slightest bit, it feels like I suffer a concussion. I'm like, I gotta like lay down for like 3 hours and like get like get back to normal. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in my life. But I could sit in this chair and go through the stock market, talk about things in the world and everything else. But again, I'm just not even thinking about it. It just really just comes out. I've always had the gift of gab. And like I say, it's just like this energy that comes through and it just guides me. I think it's like positive energy, positive mindset, everything I've always believed in, surviving a miracle. It all just comes and just does a show for us. So I can't explain it, to be completely honest with you. But if you were to, I'll read a children's book on here one day. I'll grab one of my little guy's books. Maybe I'll remember to do it tomorrow. God, it's my little guy can read better than me. I'm telling you, he'll read it, and I'm like struggling to read like literally like a kindergarten book. So yeah, definitely not. I definitely suffered a brain injury. They definitely know. Like I said, I've done all the cognitive testing. I've done everything they ever asked me. I've gone above and beyond. what every single doctor had ever asked me to do. And like I said, I have to do the vision therapy. It just takes a while to get it all set up and get into it. It's not something that's through insurance. I have to pay for it for myself. And then so it takes a little while for you to even find a doctor. There's only like 2 places around here that even offer it. So, and then you got to get in there and then figure out a schedule. They got to evaluate you. It's like a whole process. I'm like, holy cow. And then it costs you a fortune, which I'm not worrying about that part, because if it helps, it's well worth it. But yeah, we all know, the doctors know. I go to they send me to a one of the best neurology places finally. So yeah, I go to one of the main universities now, and I have a neurology team, and they're actually great. And they sit there and just go, "Wow, you're just a miracle." And whatever you need us to do, just let us know, and we'll help you out, because no one gets hit that hard and can tell the story again. It's just bizarre. And for those of you just tuning in, I got hit with a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a 2-story house. I was jacking up my buddy's house with him. We were changing out the joist that had termite damage, and now we were opening up the whole first floor. We have the house up in the air. Like, the jack has the house. It holds the house up so you could take out the main beam. We had the house in the air, and the 4x4 kicked out. The jack that weighed it weighs 90 pounds. It's a 10-ton solid piece of metal. Hit me right there. I mean, straight on. I was right in front of it, and they couldn't have hit me any other way, because I was standing, and behind me was the wall that we were actually going to take out, and I was standing in between 2 studs. So you imagine they're only 16 inches apart. I'm standing there jacking it, and it comes straight down and hit me, and the jack landed right in between the studs. And like I told you the story, the jack hit me, and I just remember some energy. I just went backwards. Everything went quiet, black, and peaceful immediately. I didn't hear any ringing, nothing. I just remember it felt like someone hit me with a sledgehammer across the head. That's all I remembered. And then the next thing I know, I'm just floating backwards in this energy. And then all I know is I just get thrusted forward in this energy, like I'm floating. And yeah, my buddy didn't know it even hit me, because it happened so fast. And by the time the jack hit me, and then it started hitting the floor, bouncing around, it was shaking the whole house because it was so heavy. So he had no idea that it even hit me. But all he said, he saw me just go back real fast, and he said I sprung up like I had hit a trampoline. Like, he was like, you just went right to your feet. You went backward and right to your feet. So again, I feel this energy, and now I'm just standing there like this with my hands over my head. I didn't even know. But then I just hear this really calm voice in my head just saying, open your eyes, open your eyes. And I like struggled to open my eyes. And when I opened them, I could notice that I was in the house. And in my mind, I went, holy shit, I'm alive. And then I just felt the blood pouring down my face. And I said to my buddy, I said, yo, we have a medical emergency. That effing thing just hit me. And that's when he realized I still had my hands like that. And he's like, move your hands, move your hands. And then I moved my hands, and he looked at it. And I'll never forget his face, because he turned white as a ghost, guys. It was crazy. And he went in shock. I was like more coherent than him because of my adrenaline. He basically went in shock because my whole head was split open. And then we walked into the bathroom because the house was demoed. And then I looked in the mirror, and my head was split open. And I went, holy shit, dude, that doesn't look good. I think we're going to need a hospital for this one. And he's like, holy shit, dude, I'm so sorry. That was crazy. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's pretty nutty. My head's definitely split open. So I have to call my wife, and we got to go to a hospital. And yeah, I called my wife. I told her, hey, we just had an accident, and the jack just hit me in the head and split my head open. I need to come home, get me a bag ready, because the hospital's not letting me leave. My head split open. So I assumed they weren't going to let me leave. I was like, pack me a change of clothes and a charger for my phone, and I'll be there in a minute, because I was 3 blocks away from my house. My buddy drove me home. I came in. I actually got changed in the more comfy clothes, and then we went to the hospital. He took me to the hospital, and I tell you the story. As soon as I got in there, my head split open, and there's a room full of people waiting in the ER, and I walk in with a freezer bag full of ice on my head like this, and I show them, and my head's literally split open. I mean, it was wild. It was deep. And they were looking at me, and they're like, what happened? And I said, we were jacking up a house, and the jack just hit me in the head. And they were like, what? So they immediately got me into the triage, and I was in a CAT scan relatively quick. I'll say that. They did put me in a CAT scan pretty fast. And And then they told me I was perfectly fine, that there was nothing wrong. And again, that sometimes takes 24 hours to 48 hours. You're supposed to be kept for evaluation. I should have been sent to a trauma unit, is what I should have happened. But they just put 4 stitches in my head and sent me home and told me I was perfectly fine. And so I leave and I'm crazy, guys. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm fine. And I'm out of it, guys. I'm like in another planet. But again, my adrenaline was rushing and I just survived this thing. I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I actually went back to my buddy's house the next day. I was helping him out because the hospital said I was fine, which I was like out of my mind. And then a week later, I went down to the Jersey Shore and I took my niece into a haunted house. And I came out of that, and I'm telling you, I almost dropped dead. I'd never felt anything like it. You want to talk about tripping or hallucinating? I've done plenty of things back in the day partying. I had never felt anything like that before. It was crazy. I was like, holy cow, I think I'm going to die right here. And I was telling my wife, and she's like, you're all right, let's go. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm all right. And somehow I was just whacked out of my mind for like months after that. And yeah, I ended up having that's when they sent me to a neurologist to get a checkup, and they were doing testing on me. No, that's when 13 days later I had to go back to the hospital because I was out of my mind. And I came home from the shore, and my neighbor's an X-ray tech at the hospital, and she took one look at me and said, "Holy shit, what happened?" Like, she knew the story, but was like, "What did the hospital say?" And I was like, "Nothing." They were just kind of amazed I was alive. And she was like, "You don't look right. You better go get evaluated." And here I went back to the hospital that she works at, and so it was a different hospital. It was 13 days later, and I'll never forget that either because it was in the middle of July. They have all your medical students are there, and and the doctor, they brought me into the back because they had asked me a couple questions, and they said, "Wow, it was 13 days ago." They're like, "We're not going to do a CAT scan because you had already been like, you don't have a brain, like your brain's not bleeding so bad where it's hemorrhaging because you would already drop dead." They said, "So we're not going to put more radiation into your brain. You need to see a neurologist." And they were doing the testing, and then they asked me if they could have all the students look at it because they had never seen anything before like it. And even my concussion therapist, the neurologist, every person I had seen right after that point said, "Holy cow, it's the most severe concussion I'd ever seen." My eyes ticked so bad they couldn't believe it. So she had brought all these the students around, the medical students, and she was like, "Hey, check this out." And I just remember all going, "Whoa, what's that?" And she goes, "I've never seen anything like it before, so here you go. That might be the most severe thing you ever see." And they were all like looking at it, and she was doing the testing, and they were talking about it. I just remember I was kind of out of my mind. And yeah, and that's what happened. And then I started going to the neurologist. They put me into a neurologist. That was a Friday afternoon. Monday morning, I called. Wednesday morning, I had an appointment. And then, yeah, they were like, "Holy shit, dude, you have a really severe concussion." They couldn't believe that the hospital had let me leave at this point. And again, this is after the fact that I'd gone into a haunted house, and it just like completely messed me up. And I don't know if I would have still had them symptoms and gotten messed up later on, but it definitely sped up everything going into that haunted house. And then yeah, then they ended up putting me in concussion therapy because I was so out of it, they couldn't believe it. And then I went down and met the concussion therapist, and she was amazing. I tell you, Sarah, she saved my life. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. And she was more helpful than all the doctors combined, everybody. And she was like, "Holy cow, you're the most severe patient I'd ever seen." She's like, "I've seen some crazy stuff, but nothing like this before." And yeah, she just started working with me. I was there for 9 months straight, 3 days a week doing concussion therapy. I was walking around with popsicle sticks, guys, trying to like get my eyes to set. I was doing the dumbest stuff. And here I was like completely out of my mind. They said I got hit so hard I was in a manic state. So at that same time, I was doing crazy things. So at that same time, I just got hit in the head, and we had these big crazy storms around here. And I used to do these big drainage jobs, and two of my neighbors' houses were flooded. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it." So here I just suffered a brain injury, and I'm filling up my dump truck and moving like a ton of stone around, and I shouldn't have been doing that either. And I didn't even feel right while I was doing it, but I was like, "Oh, I said I would do these jobs." And I had to go back and look at them like this year and be like, "Holy shit, I can't believe I did most of it all right." It was pretty impressive. I don't remember doing any of it. And I told you, I rented a sod cutter, and I just started cutting out my entire backyard. I came back there one day. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to build a golf course in my backyard." I swear to God. And then I just went because I had construction and landscaping call me. I have trucks and trailers. I just jumped in my truck, drove away with the trailer and went and rented a sod cutter and came back and just started cutting my entire backyard out like it was normal. And then yeah, I started building like sand traps and all kinds of crazy shit back there. I don't remember. I knocked the entire fence out, ripped all the posts out and everything. And then the winter came and I just like threw some tarps back there and our fence was blowing around. And I went back in the springtime and I didn't remember doing any of it. I didn't remember anything. I was like, wow, what did I do under here? It was like brand new project. I had no idea what was going on. And somehow I think building that golf course, as a matter of fact, that putting green was a big part of me getting better as well, because I just started doing that, and it took me a long time. It took me almost a year to do it, but it was just something that kept me busy and active, and kept my mind on something, I think. But yeah, I was completely out of my mind when I did that as well. And again, I don't even remember renting the sod cutter, cutting everything out. My buddy remembers, because we had to remove all the sod. We put it in my one truck, and then I tried to move the truck and it wouldn't even move. I had filled the truck so much that the truck wouldn't even move. And my buddy was like, dude, what are you doing? Like the truck was like, I didn't even use the dump truck. I used my one pickup truck, and the thing was like all the way to the ground. And I thought it was completely normal. And my buddy was like, yo, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, I was like out of it. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. But somehow I built a golf course too. But I couldn't do that again. I'm telling you, half the shit I've done, I don't think I could even do anymore. It's just like I try to get into these things and I start getting screwed up. I do things wrong all the time when I try to fix things. Generally, I have to buy the material like 2 or 3 times because I just screw it up. I like to fix shit, and I'm used to be really handy, but I just don't look at things the same anymore. And it's the same with like paperwork. Every doctor's appointment or anywhere I go, they hand you these forms to fill out, and they always give them back to me and say, can you fill it out right? And I'm like, I thought I did. I don't know what the hell I read, guys. It just does not make sense. And my wife's seen it. And like I said, she's a special ed teacher, and I just don't see things right anymore. And luckily, stock charts don't have numbers or letters, guys, and it's just a pattern to me, and I can pick them up so easily. And again, the day that I got hit in the head, I was sitting in the ER looking at FinViz and looking at the stock chart, saying to my buddy, "You're so lucky, dude, that I can still see these stock charts." And I remember the doctor coming in. His name was Moses, Dr. Moses. You can't make this shit up. I'm telling you, on my paperwork it says Dr. Moses. And I remember him coming in, and I was sitting there looking at stock charts and saying it to my buddy. And he was just looking at me like, what are you looking at? And I go, stock charts. That's what I do. And he just like couldn't wrap his head around it. The fact that I was sitting there talking, I was alive, my head was split open, and I was in there like laughing about it. And yeah, and that's what happened, guys. And then they let me come home, and I honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I come home, I'm a cannabis user, I smoke, and then I go to bed, and somehow I woke up the next morning. And that's a miracle in itself too, because I don't even know. I had the most severe concussion. You usually aren't supposed to go to bed right then. And so yeah, I was completely out of my mind. And again, I tell you guys, every few months I come back to planet Earth a little bit more, and I've been getting my long-term memory back. That's why I've been telling stories. I didn't remember any of this shit until recently. A lot of times I'll just be talking and I'll just remember a story and I'll just tell you guys about it because something will trigger my memory, and I'll be like, holy shit, I forgot that even happened in my life. I'm remembering shit that happened in my life that like it's like nothing ever happened in my life. And now all of a sudden I'm starting to get my long-term memory back. My short-term memory is so bad, guys. I have notes everywhere. I have to set alarms for everything. It's crazy. So yeah, everybody talks to me, goes, yeah, you seem pretty normal. And I do. I have the gift of gab, and I'm telling you, it's just like this energy that just comes through and just gets me through life, I guess. And but yeah, I have all kinds of difficulties with my brain injury, and I talk about it all the time because it's interesting. You just don't know. One day we're sitting there just laughing about something, and the next second I've suffered a major brain injury. So and Michael Anthony said, what am I talking about? I lost him. You asked a question, Michael Anthony. I lost you. So anyway, that's my brain injury story. Michael Anthony's lost, so you can't even follow the story. I just told you exactly what happened and everything else. But anyway, Michael Anthony, there you go. And everybody else just tuning in. Yeah, that's what happened to me. And again, we do the show, we look at stock charts, we go through the market, and we crush it all the time. And it's one of the, I say, I'm completely blessed with a gift, guys. I know that I live a very blessed life, and I am very blessed to even be alive. I say it every single day. And you guys know I have that positive attitude, positive energy. It's what kept me alive, guys. And it's what keeps me here, and it keeps the show going. So there you go. And that's what happened to me. And he's telling us he has become a buy and going to the nut house next is what you're saying. Oh, dude, if you, Michael Anthony, if you knew my life, it's so crazy. It's shit that happens in my life just don't happen like all the time to people. And I just laugh about it. I could tell you some crazy ass stories that happened to me. God, I mean, look what happened to me in the middle of the summer. I go, and again, this is how crazy, this is how bad it is, guys. I had to stop doing things because I was getting like hurt. I ripped the fingertip off. I mean, I get on a go-kart. I've driven my go-kart a million times. Haven't driven it since I got hit in the head. And then that one time, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm cleaning out the shed. I throw air in the tire. I literally pull it one time. It fires right up. And I'm like, oh, I'll go ride around the block. I drop my phone and get my finger stuck in the chain. Guys, I ripped this fingertip off completely. It was, the bone was hanging out. And then it grew back in like a month, less than a month, like 3 weeks later, I grew back a fingertip like nothing ever happened. So, yeah, bizarre shit happens to me. And again, I just laugh about it. I'm like, oh, well, that's another day and another story. And what are you going to do? And so, yeah, that's how I ended up having a funny conversation with the gentleman today that we were talking about. I keep forgetting Twitchy Turkey. And so, yeah, I ended up having a funny conversation with him, but telling him things that happened just because he was, we had to sit there and wait for something like he was doing. And I was just talking to him. But yeah, I'm telling you, my life is kind of crazy. And I do have, that's the thing, Michael Anthony. I have a family. I have a wife and 2 kids. Yeah. And I'm crazy. So I got to like not get killed because I do. I have a 5-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a wife. And I'm only 45. And I think I've used up like 100 lives in my life. And especially when I got hit in the head, it was definitely at least 9 of them right there. So yeah, no, I definitely have kids. I have a family. I try to be a normal person. I try to coach the sports. And I used to be like the head coach of everything. I can't do that anymore because I just can't schedule things and do things like I used to. I used to be able to do like 20 things at one time and do them well. And I'd get like 15 things done before it was lunchtime every single day. Now I can do like 2 things a day and that's it. So it's like I have to pick and choose what things I really want to accomplish and focus on it and get that done. So yeah. So yeah, I have 2 kids and a wife and no problems. Yeah. I wish I had no problems, Michael Anthony. Everybody has issues in life. Like I said, you just take the issues and the way you look at them and treat them is the way your life comes back to you. So I always look at everything and any problems and issues in my life, and I just laugh about it and just put my head down and just barrel right through it like everything else. And then you just smile at the end and say, see, it wasn't that hard. I always say, I'm just going to bang shit out. And again, I tell you guys, I'm so used to being able to do things quick before my brain injury. So now, like, I get these ideas and I want to do them. It takes me like 3 weeks to get things done. That used to only take me like 2 days. And I don't understand why. I have no clue, but it just does. It takes me forever to do stuff. So, and you guys can tell, like, I'm just so used to being able to bang things out and be like, all right, I can do this, this, and this. I make notes and then I forget that I wrote them down. It's crazy, guys. So, anyway, don't get hit in the head real hard. I say it all the time. And like I said, I am extremely lucky and blessed to even be alive. I'm telling you, I probably took one of the hardest hits in the history of life and survived. No one gets hit with a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a house and tells the story. I don't know if anybody ever did it before, but here I am, and I can tell you the story. And like I said, I was floating through energy. It was dark, quiet, and peaceful. I'm pretty sure I got to witness the other side of life, guys. So who the hell knows? But again, I sit in this chair, I just tell you stories. But when I look at the charts, it's just like some energy comes out. I could never even think about these things that fast and be able to tell you. So it's bizarre, guys, but I do greatly appreciate you guys all tuning in and enjoying my crazy stories, and of obviously enjoying the market and everything else we do. We cover sports and everything, and the Blue Jays are just smashing them right now. It's 12-2 in the top of the 8th, and they are just destroying them. They even got people on base. They're having a hitting clinic out there today. So sorry, Mariners fans, but it looks like it's going to be 2-1 that series. And I think they play what? Don't they play? The Dodgers play tomorrow night. I know that. And they also play. I thought so. Both games are tomorrow night. Dodgers Brewers games at 6 o'clock. So when we come on tomorrow night, that'll be the end of the game, Doge Mama 9. So we'll have to see how that works. And then our Blue Jays Mariners game comes on about 8:33 tomorrow. So we'll have plenty of baseball. And then I think there's even football tomorrow as well, because it isn't usually Thursday night football too. So that should be tomorrow night. I don't even know who's playing. I'll have to look at it. But anyway, there you go, everybody. I'd say that's a pretty fun market review and a little story about my head injury and what actually happened to me. I know some of you have heard it before, but a lot of new people tuning in, and Michael Anthony was asking, and then he just tuned out and couldn't follow the story. But anyway, we love you, Michael Anthony. And you said you can do anything in a week or 3 months, and at one time could do anything and get old, then can't do nothing. Yeah, well, I don't know if my age had anything to do with it. Obviously, we never get younger, but up until I got smacked in the head, I was perfectly fine. The other thing that was crazy, guys, I had a photographic memory, and I obviously don't anymore. That's a big difference in life. I used to walk around and I could remember everything and anything like that. And everyone knows that's involved in my life. My son has a photographic memory. We all absolutely know he has a memory like it's crazy, like I did. I just thought it was normal my whole life. I didn't realize that everybody didn't have a photographic memory until I got into culinary school, guys. So I was 19 years old when I realized that not everybody had a photographic memory. And so I breezed through school my entire life. It was always so easy. I always wondered why people didn't always get A's and B's. And as long as I had gotten A's and B's, I didn't even have to try at school. And my parents were super happy because my sister would get like A's, B's, and C's. She didn't have the photographic memory. We'll just say that. And she wasn't like a math whiz or any school wizard. So it was easy. And I just always got all A's and maybe a B or like 1 or 2 B's. And it was so I didn't even have to apply myself. I look back and say, damn, if I would have actually tried at school, I would have had all A's. It would have been so easy. So yeah, I breezed right through all my classes all the time. I have multiple degrees and a bunch of certificates in construction, fire inspector, fire official. I have like everything. And I would go in and take them state test, guys, and I would literally ace them like it was no big deal. But not only would I ace the test, I'd come back to the instructor after the test and give him every single question that was on the question, word for word, verbatim, and the answer to it. And I did it for multiple tests. I did it for the lead abatement one. I did it for all of them. And every instructor went, holy shit, how the heck do you do that? And I'm like, I can just see it in my head. Every single question, boom, 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 go right through them all. And even the ones that I didn't know the answer to, I would know the question and say, what is the answer to that? Because I don't think I got it right. And they'd be like, that's pretty wild. So yeah, I had a photographic memory my entire life. And when you get rid of that, it makes a big difference in life because I was just so used to it and everything was just so easy. It just came simple. So now it's like a struggle. I have to adapt to everything now. So that's where it makes it a little more challenging. But again, like I said, I had a photographic memory for 43 years, so I got pretty lucky. And now it's always just it's like a game now, guys. It's like I have to overcome like a challenge all the time. So I kind of make it into a little game and try to make it a little bit fun. But yeah, that's what I have to do. I kind of absolutely have to adapt in everything that I do because I'm just so used to working and having that way of my life being the same way for so long. And then all of a sudden everything changes on that dot and you don't have the access to things that you did before. So it definitely changes things. But yeah, it's crazy, guys. But yeah, I absolutely had a photographic memory. I used to be able to just read a page and then just shut the book and just read it right back to you. Spelling tests and stuff like that. And all them tests growing up, I would get hundreds on everything. It was just so easy. All I had to do was look at it once and I just knew it. And in school, all I had to do was show up. I didn't even have to take notes. I literally just had to sit there and listen to what the teacher said. And if that question was on a test, it would just trigger my mind and I could easily just see the answers. And it was bizarre. I just thought everybody could do it. And so, yeah, I had no idea. And so, yeah, I was completely blessed with that gift my entire life. And like I said, my little guy has it. And it's just awesome to see. Like, it's kind of crazy, the things he can memorize anything. It's wild. He can basically read already because he can see all the sight words and pick them up. And again, he has that memory, so he can read books. I mean, he can read. He's 5 years old. He's in kindergarten. He can read, and it's crazy. I'm telling. He could do the alphabet backwards when he wants to, and again, he can just see it in his head. You can see him looking at it like I used to. It's so bizarre, and but it's so awesome. So if you ever met anybody with a photographic memory, it's pretty crazy what they can do. And again, I was just blessed with it my entire life. I had no idea that everybody didn't operate that way. So I just walked around life like everybody else, and I'm kind of glad I did, because I just didn't know any different. And again, it was just easy for me, so I didn't really have to apply it in school and stuff. But yeah, it just came natural. And like I said, when I got to culinary school, I told you guys the stories. I used to have a fake ID. It was a real ID. And I was like 19 going to bars in Philly. And I would go out and party. I used to party back in the day, obviously. And yeah, I would come back to take like these tests and stuff, and most of the people were there were on like their second and third career change, so they were older, they were adults, and I was like a 19-year-old punk kid. And I would just come in, and they would all be sitting at a table studying like the entire lunch break, and I come in like reeking like alcohol and weed, and then I could sit down, and within 10 minutes I could take a test and get 100 on it. Just walk up, hand it to the professor, reeking like weed and alcohol, and he would mark it right there and hand it back, and it would be like a 99, 100. And then people would be coming out, and I would just be done. I'd get to leave, but then you'd hear people would be coming out, and they'd be getting like 70s, and I'm like, it's not even possible. Like, we literally went over the test 3 days ago. Everybody was sitting here. How is it possible? But as soon as I heard that, like, the teacher would go through the test, and like, but he wouldn't go like word like each one in order. He would jump around and do whatever. But yeah, I would just sit down, and as soon as I read the question, it would be like, oh yeah, he said that was the answer. I could literally fly through the test in 10 minutes and get 100, because he went over the test, and I just didn't understand how everybody couldn't do it. And that's when I actually realized that I had a photographic memory, because I started talking to these people that were my classmates. They were all awesome people, and again, I was this punk kid. They were adults. And they were like, how the hell do you do that so quick? And like, you come back, you're drinking at the bar, you're just partying, and you get hundreds on everything. And I'm like, how can't you guys do it? We went over the test, and the minute you sit down, I can see every answer. And that's where somebody went, do you have a photographic memory? And I go, what's that? I didn't even know what they were talking about. And they're like, can you just like see everything? And I'm like, yeah, I can always do that. You can't do that. And every person looked at me like I had 10 heads. And that's when I went, wow, that's pretty interesting. I had no idea. And that is a true story, and that's what happened. And everybody goes, holy shit, dude, I think you have a photographic memory. And I go, yeah, I mean, the teacher just went over this 3 days ago. I can tell you every single thing the teacher said in the order that he went in it, and then I can easily tell you what the test said, like that we just took. I could read you every single question word for word, verbatim almost, and tell you the answers. And yeah, so that's what I used to have. And that disappeared when I got hit in the head. So yeah, that just alone is a lot of adapting to like everything in life. So yeah, I had a photographic memory, and you guys can kind of like, I remember some of these stock tickers and stuff, and I think it's a lot of this is why I'm in the shape that I'm in. It's cognitive therapy that I constantly do, and that's why I constantly try to remember some of the names and stuff, because I can tell I'm interested in the stock market. I obviously love it. I've been doing it for so long, so it's something that I obviously like to do. So it's easy for me, and it also helps my brain. So yeah, it's a crazy story, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And JB Cass said I'm a walking miracle. I'm telling you, it's crazy what happened to me. And like I said, definitely a miracle. And I'm sure my mom was with me. I told you I lost my mom, and I've helped people my entire life. I'm telling you, I've always helped everybody, including all the seniors on my block. And I think everybody just rallied together, and they put me right back in this earth, and give me another round. Because when you get hit in the head that hard, guys, you don't survive. If I had taken, there's a video, I have it posted up. I'll repost it for you guys. Yeah, it's on my YouTube. You can see the entire story. I tell the story, and look at me while I'm telling the story. You could tell I literally I'm whacked out of my mind. I'm telling the story, and you can tell I have a major concussion. And it was like months after it had happened. In the video, I have you can see I have a little video inside of that video And just one piece of the jack, because you got to set the jack up. One piece of the jack, when you hit it against a 2x6, I just have it in my hand and I just drop it down. I don't swing it, I just drop it. It dents the 2x6. You're talking about a piece of metal here that if I actually hit somebody in the head with it, I would kill you immediately. There's not even a question in my mind. And somehow this entire jack was set up and caught me in the head, and somehow I survived it. I don't know. I know right here in your head's pretty tough, but not that tough. So yeah, I don't know what happened, guys. And again, I was floating through energy, so it was definitely crazy, that's for sure. And talk about stocks that mind, okay, and give us some stock winners under 15 and 20. Oh, we'll be doing that in the morning. You guys know that. We went through the entire list. I already marked out everything and told you what to look at, and we have a couple to look at in the morning. Check out this one in the morning, ORIS. This is a really cheap one right here, and it's just in a really good spot there, and you can see it trying to curl up, so you might get a little pop up on that one. And obviously a bunch of other ones that we were looking at. AMD's looking pretty good to continue its way up. And let's see, TSM has their earnings, and Google and Meta were looking pretty good. And let's see if Microsoft can actually get a pop there in the morning. They keep having great news, and it keeps just hanging out there. And that mask is looking pretty good too, like I said. So keep your eye on MASK. I have no idea what it is, but a China software company, and it grabbed my attention on the scanner. And there you go, everybody. So a little story time at the end about my brain injury. I know I've talked about it before, but a lot of new people tuning in. So, and Michael Anthony had been asking about it, and then he just checked out on the story, but it's all good, Michael Anthony. We definitely love you. And JB Cost 70, thank you very much. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel, I hope you're enjoying your evening and your wife's birthday. Phil Trait, thanks for hanging out. Central Florida Gardening. And of course, Robin's always hanging out, listens on the way to work. And Joseph Levy, our stock trading option master over here, Joseph Levy, he is on fire, guys. I'm telling you. So I hope Joseph Levy keeps sharing a bunch of stories, because he's doing a great job. And like I said, it's very motivational for sure. Did we ever look at POLW? I don't even know. I don't remember if I even skipped it, but that looks really good in the morning. Luis Rodriguez, you're absolutely right. POWL. PAL Industries, and that looks pretty good to try to continue its way up there tomorrow. You can see it was running up in the after hours. I don't know if I even saw that. And of course, our Twitchy Turkey was on there. So anytime we see Twitchy Turkey, we know exactly who that is. And again, he works for Merrill, and he helped me out today. So he was awesome. We were talking for a little while, and there you go, Twitchy Turkey. Greatly appreciate you hanging out and checking out the show for sure. And who else was there? JB Cost 70 and Oracle. We were hoping that it was going up again. It doesn't look too bad for tomorrow. I didn't even see you write that. Your messages are just popping all over the place for some odd reason. But Cypher, I am not in anymore. That one had gotten sold off, and I think Joseph Levy sold it up here at the very top today. As a matter of, was that Cypher or which one was that, Joseph? I forget. Or was that? It wasn't Lightpath. Was it this one? I forget now. But Cypher not in anymore. Got out of that one. ASPI, I'm not in that one either anymore. That was a quick runner up, and then it started to dip down there. That was a nice pop for yesterday. Good momentum play. We had ASP Isotopes, and then that Lightpath, I had already said I sold some of them yesterday, and then I sold the rest this morning. So I am no longer in them either. And again, I tend to sell a little earlier, and it's perfectly fine. If they're in the profits and they're up like that, I don't mind selling. And if they go up higher, they go up higher. Other people can trade them and have a good time. So that's the way I kind of look at it anymore. But yeah, there you go. JB Cost 70. Hope that helped out. And Laptop Travel enjoying his evening. Robin right there. And let's see, Utah Uties, of course, gave us some good ones right there. That SLRX had been running up today. Solaris, or whatever the heck it's called, Solaris Pharmaceuticals. And that is looking pretty good. And that New Wave was looking good, and BioX. So you can keep an eye on them. And we were talking about pizza, PZZA, and we'll see tomorrow if that can jump up on that buyout news as well. And let's see what else is going on if I missed any up here. Nope, I think we got to everything. And there you go. Laptop Travel just hopped on. There you go. And just showing up for a second. It's the wife. We already said happy birthday to your wife a few times. Hope you're enjoying your evening there, Laptop Travel. And Laptop Travel did sell a Cypher and Bitfarms. That was the one Joseph Levy was in. I was trying to think of it. Bitfarms it was. And Joseph Levy sold that one at the top at like 657. So, yeah. Just lock in those profits right there, JB costs. As they go up, just get out and lock them in. And let's see. Look at the makers of shoes like Crocs and Nike. Well, we looked at Nike. It wasn't too bad today. I know that. What's Crocs doing? CROX. And that's not looking too bad either, Crocs. So yeah, that's pretty good right there. Footwear and accessories. Let's see. AREB, that's way down there right there. And let's see, Burke and Crocs right there. DBI Decker. Is that Deckers? I didn't even know they're a footwear company. And FMFC Fossil Group right there is running up. That's for sure. Nike right there. Rocky or something. Rocky Brands. And Steve Madden right there is kind of cruising along. And let's see what else. So, yeah, not too bad right there for the shoemakers. Croc, not too bad as well. So, there you go with them. And let me see what else is going on. Look at SCVL. Let's see what that's doing real quick. Shoe Carnival. Well, I didn't even see that. That's apparel retail. Should have been with the shoe ones, but that one doesn't look bad. It is trying to curl up. It's a matter if it can get through that MACD. It might get blocked right there at your 20. So that's what I would look at for SCVL right there, your Shoe Carnival. And let's see, what's the best Mag 7 right there? I would say tonight, Google and Meta were looking pretty strong. And then I would say Microsoft after that. But that's what they look like at the moment. Microsoft looks like it wants to get turned around. Tesla wasn't too bad either. It just has to get curled up there. So, yeah, I think your Meta right here wasn't looking bad, trying to curl up, obviously, has that weird look. And in Google with some with a little momentum from today's looking good. And in Microsoft, they keep having great news. And the chart doesn't look bad right there. It looks like it wants to curl around and get bumping. So I would say them three right there. And Laptop Travel, I'm the same. I got a bunch of cash in my account too, just in case anything wants to dip down real hard, and we can jump into them. And Beyond Meat, that was way down there. I've seen that. It's been dipping down here. And is it trying to bounce back up? Let's see what BYND. And it might try to bounce back up there. You can see it's up a little bit. Let's jot it down here on this side, and we'll look at it in the morning for Beyond Meat right there. And let's see. And no problem, Utah Utes. Thanks for sending them in. We greatly appreciate it. And everybody that tunes in. And again, if you ever have any questions or have any want to see any stocks or anything like that, feel free to shoot them over during the live stream or hit me up on X. Send me a DM if you want. If you have any questions, I do respond to everybody. Ask Joseph Levy. He's been crushing the market since we got him right on the right path there. He wanted to learn how to do options, and the dude's crushing it now, guys, every single day, just turning them over like it's his job. And so, yeah, that's what we want everybody to be able to do, and that's what we're going to make sure that everybody can do. So that's obviously our goal with the show and the Discord. The Blue Jays' goal was to smash the Mariners today. It's 13-4 right now in the top of the ninth. So the Blue Jays are up with 2 outs, and they just got another guy on first base. So, yeah, they're hitting the ball pretty well. How many hits do they have right now? I got to look at this. They got to have like a ton of hits right here. 18 hits they have. Holy shit. 13 runs, 18 hits, no errors. And then the Seattle has 4 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. So, yeah, 18 hits. Like I said, it's just every time I look, every inning, they got guys on base all over the place. So they have a hitting clinic going on right there. And can VG keep going higher since the big drop last week? What the heck is VG right there, Michael Anthony? Venture Global, that did bottom out right there. Just watch for any dips on this little pullback. But yeah, that one doesn't look too bad. Let me close some of these guys out so I can get over here and see what VG looks like for you. Yeah, it does look like it bottomed out. It might have a little pullback on it as it sets up, but it doesn't look too bad right there. And Utah Utis considered some lotto leaps on GNE right there. GNE, or is that GameStop? Genie Energy, let's see. Oh, that looks pretty good too. I like that for tomorrow. Utah Utis, you do have a good eye for some of them, I have to say. Some of them that you send over are really good setups right there. So thank you very much for all the ones that you've been sending over. We appreciate it. Yeah, that one looks really good right there. GNE, look at that thing. That could be a nice runner in the morning there, laptop travel and crew. So keep an eye on that. And thank you very much, Utah Utis. That is a beauty right there. And I would say that's a pretty fun market review and a good little story about my brain injury there that I wasn't really going to get into tonight. But Michael Anthony did ask, and then he kind of checked out, but it's all good. I kind of told all the new people that are tuning in my crazy story. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this J Nug is looking great there for tomorrow, guys. So I would keep an eye on that. It just keeps running up. Can you believe, guys? I had this thing pretty cheap and I sold it in the $100 range. I guess it was probably in August, I'm thinking, but I definitely had it. And I thought it was before August. I don't really remember exactly when, to be completely honest with you, but I know I had sold it right around $100, and now it's almost doubled. So yeah, it definitely happens, guys, and it's a good laugh anyway. But yeah, I wish I had still had that on a 2-time leverage. So holy cow, that was running up pretty good, and it continues to run up. So like I said, we'll keep an eye on JNUG for tomorrow because the gold's looking good, silver's looking good as well, and our crypto is just kind of pulling back a little bit. Bitcoin's still at 111. It was at 110 earlier, and it is just kind of dipping down. So yeah, we could have some pullback there. And again, our government shutdown may be lasting past November 16th now. It was really looking like October 31st to the 3rd, but look at that right there. That looks like it has no shot in hell. And November 16th is plus, maybe even further, is looking pretty good. And copper ones, which ones are they? I forget off of the top of my head. For copper, we can look at COO. I'm trying to think of some of them. What the heck copper ones are there? What the heck? I can't even think right now. My brain's going blank. CPS is a copper standard holding, so that's looking pretty good. Holy cow, look at that bad boy. Yeah, throw out some copper ones for the morning laptop travel so we can take a look at them, because that one looks pretty good right there. It's an auto part company. FCX right there. Let's see. Freeport McMoran or something. That's a copper company right there, but that will get us into the rest of them, which is good. ERO kind of running up some. HBM FCX right there. IE not looking bad. MTAL way up there. And SCCO, TGB. We'll have to look at some of these in the morning, that's for sure. SCCO right there. And let's see, an ERO you said right here, that one. Let's just take a quick look at these guys, some copper ones real quick. And they are in a nice little channel. They're still in there, and they do look like they're going to run up. We do know when they're in the top right here, they've been running up some more. So this one hitting that MACD could easily roll right back off right there. So they are not looking bad for your copper ones right there. Rely is Remedy Global or something that is trying to crawl up out of the basement. And GEN, Gen Digital right here, not looking bad either. That's a software infrastructure one. They do have earnings coming up in November. But yeah, that's not looking too bad. So you try to run up around into the 2750 area. It's at 2740. So just see if that can pop up right there. And there you go, everybody. I would say that's a pretty fun one. FCX at 40. That could dip with copper down. And yeah, we'll look at copper in the morning. I'll definitely take a look at these guys and see what's going on. That one was kind of setting up, whichever one it was. I forget which one I said, but one of them bad boys was setting up. It was that car one, whatever I typed in there. I forget what the heck it was. Was it this one? Cooper Companies? No, that wasn't it. I forget what it was. Maybe it was this one, the Copper Standard Holdings. Was this one? Yeah, this one was it. This one looks pretty good right here, guys. So we can keep an eye on CPS. I'll jot that down. And we'll look at that guy right there. So is there a reason why Gen is down so much? Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not even familiar with Gen Digital, but I would say let it get set up. I don't even know if it's going to pop right through that MACD right there with the 20 coming down. So not exactly sure what's going on. LifeLock launches Control Room series. Not sure what's going on with that. So yeah, I don't even know what they really do there, Michael Anthony. So there you go. And whatever you say for the birthday wishes for your wife. And Laptop Travel said, love all our viewers, followers, subscribers. Hit the like button on your way out. And I can't even say that, but that is Hawaiian for whatever. And yeah, I can't read, guys. That's again, I told you what's wrong with me, so we can all laugh about it. But yeah, thank you everybody, and we love all of our subscribers, viewers, listeners, everybody that contributes. And again, I just sit here and facilitate the show and have a good time with you guys. And it's like I tell you, it's complete cognitive therapy for me. I almost feel like I'll be doing these shows for the rest of my life because I can tell the difference when I don't do the shows. My brain just doesn't work as well. It definitely fires up my brain and makes like the synapses fire up and try to connect and stuff. And I can tell what I have issues with. And obviously, if you do suffer a brain injury, you can easily tell what's wrong with you. It's unless you're like a vegetable, obviously, then your brain's not working completely. But I can tell what's obviously things that I used to be able to do well and I obviously can't do now. And mahalo means thank you in Hawaiian, and I can't even. And yeah, mahalo nui loa. Thank you very much. There you go. So we even learn a little Hawaiian here. We do puppet shows sometimes as well. Yesterday we had a fun time with my little guy's problem there. We even went through a kindergartner's homework problem. That was a lot of fun, that drawing. So yeah, my wife was like, did you guys talk about that? I was like, yeah, of course. We had a good time with that thing. So she thinks I'm nuts as well. Everyone knows I'm a little crazy, but we do have fun. And again, we go through the market, we see exactly what's going on, we pick out all the poppers, we pick out world events before they even happen, just based off of stock charts. It's pretty fascinating, and we try to make it entertaining and have a good time doing it. And let's see what's going on. Yeah, Laptop Travel's wife, happy birthday. And Doug, which hit the support line on Finviz is the ones to buy that you notice get support line. I agree, Laptop or Michael Anthony. That's why I always say we talk about them trend lines. And I honestly, Finviz, like I've been telling you for years, these things just draw in there. I'm just so used to looking at Finviz because I've been looking at it since they started the company. I've been looking at stock charts that long, and Finviz, I just happened to hop on my radar. And yeah, so I'm very used to these charts and I can read them very, very well. And like I said, you can see a lot of times as they get set up in bullish trends, what they're going to bounce off of. It makes it real easy. And then obviously I like to look at everything in my trend spider because that puts me in the matrix. And between the two of them, we can rock and roll right through the market pretty well. So let's see what Laptop Travel's gift is for us tonight. It is LRE, Leap. Remember I was telling you guys, these real estate companies are starting to heat up. I'm telling you, that might be the next wave of the big runners. And I've been saying that I keep seeing them popping up all over my scanners nonstop, or these realtor ones, real estate ones, and all kinds of stuff like that. So we will be seeing. But yeah, look at that thing trying to curl up, LRE. I'll write that down right here, and we'll take a look at that as a matter of fact in the morning too. So there you go, Laptop Travel. You go enjoy your wife's birthday and all them festivities. We hope you're having a good night, Michael Anthony, and everybody else that tuned in, Utah Utes, and Luis Rodriguez and Phil Trey, Robin, Central Florida Garden, Joseph Levy, and everybody else. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Ross might have been on here. I'm not even sure. He's been hopping on a bunch. And everybody else, like I said, I greatly appreciate it. You ever have any questions, be sure to shoot me a message in X, and I will definitely respond to you about anything. And we also had our turkey on there. What the heck? I can't even remember the first word. Twitchy turkey. If I could remember that, it would be nice. I should have wrote it down because I would have been able to just refer to it. But anyway, we appreciate him hopping on. And like I said, he helped me out today. So that was real nice. And there you go, everybody. We'll be back at 7 a.m. to cover the market and see what's going on and how the market's going to open. And obviously, we'll be watching our Spy Mag 7 and all them guys. And keep an eye on this ORIS in the overnight because it is getting set up right there, whatever it's trying to do. I have no idea. And there you go, everybody. So thank you again for tuning in. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And there you go. Why did Beyond fall below $1? I have no idea. Isn't that Beyond Meat? Yeah. Remember during COVID, this thing was like over $100, guys. Let's see. Let's just pull it out like that. Beyond Meat. There you go. Yeah, remember this thing? It was up to like $239. This thing never reverse split or anything either. I remember during COVID, it was like way up there, and then it obviously started dipping down. And why it's way down here is probably because it's Beyond Me, but I don't think because it's real meat that nobody really wants it. So Beyond Meat stock trades below $1 for the first time. Why it's ailing? Isn't it like some plant-based kind of company or something? Beyond Meat completes a $1.1 billion convertible note exchange, issues $208 million, 208.7 in new notes, and 316 million shares. Well, that might do it right there because it's getting diluted. And again, it was trading like huge, guys. I mean, this thing was crazy before in the $200 range, 239. All up here in the 140s, 100. I remember during COVID it went nutty, and now you're under $1. So that's not good for a company right there. LRE, Japanese stock right here. Lead Real Estate, that's actually looking good. You know about this one, Laptop Travel, LRE. That is looking pretty good. Is that the one you had just given us? Yeah, that is looking pretty good right there. And RYOJ is a few others hit hard in the after hours. That's a pretty new one too in Japan. Yeah, there you go. We'll have to keep an eye at that. Look at it jumping up right there. I can see that. RYOJ. And look at that thing. Laptop Travel might be one to keep on your radar first thing in the morning. And does McDonald's still use Beyond products? I have no idea. I had no idea they even used them in the first place, to be honest with you. So yeah, I have no idea. And yeah, and Laptop Travel's been telling us about this steakhouse one or stakeholder, whatever the heck it is, STKH stakeholder. And he said printed fish. And that's what they're doing. They're literally 3D printing fish and selling them. So it's crazy, guys. They have a patent for it and everything. And yeah, it's kind of the future of food. I don't know what the heck they're doing with it, but look at that thing. It is getting set up pretty well again, Laptop Travel, for that STKH. We might have to look at that one in the morning. That was probably a good one to just click on. VSTD. And there you go. Yeah, remember, this one is the best. I mean, what was it called before? It was called something cool. Yosh. This one was called Yosh before. And they YOSH. Look, YOSH. It'll come back to VST. And then they decided to change the name. It is a restaurant one. And they changed the letters to VSTD. I've said it before. Could you imagine being in that boardroom and being like, yeah, our stock ticker's YOSH. It's pretty cool. Yosh. Let's change it to VSTD. Like, that's real attractive. And it's a restaurant. I mean, it was just the most bizarre thing. Yosh, there you go. YOSH. Yup, that's what it used to be. And yeah, I just can't believe that the board was like, everyone thought that this was a good idea. It is looking pretty decent down here, and maybe it'll catch some VSTDs and start running up or something. I'm not sure, but definitely pretty crazy. And Utah Udi said, full of pesticides and bioengineered doo-doo. I agree. I wouldn't eat that. I would not eat that Beyond Meat if you paid me. I'm not going to lie. I don't know who the hell's eating this shit, but I would definitely not be eating it. I'm sorry, but that's just me. And Neon was not looking bad right there today. And it does look like it's still trying to glow. So we'll see if that can get glowing, or NEON. Yeah, not looking bad. And it is an electrical part one. Them guys were moving the other day, electrical components. So yeah, not looking bad right there. I know XPON did pull back a little bit right there today. We'll have to see if this pulls back and wants to bounce. Maybe we'll replay it. I did jump out of that one. So there you go, everybody. I would say that is a fun one. And why did RYOL so cheap and see only one news since coming public? I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. What is that? Are you talking about RYOJ? You mean this one right here, RYOJ? And I don't even know that one. It's a Japan one. It's fairly new right there. And I don't see much news except for August 15th. And they had a $5 million offering. Not looking bad right here. Let's see. Speculative buzz on social media drives massive after-hour surge for recent IPO microcaps. So I guess a lot of people are chatting about this one in on the social media there. So I was not familiar with it, but it did run up pretty big there in the after hours. So obviously you're going to want to take a look at it. Look at that. It ran up over $10, over 11.50 from 2. So it did get a big pump, that's for sure. And there you go, Laptop Travel. You have a good night. Aloha, everyone, and sayonara. I can actually read that. I almost couldn't, but I just know what it says. So there you go, everybody. And let's see, Utah Uti's got Steakhouse under a $1 million float right there. Stakeholder, I mean. And that one is looking pretty good. What is it? STKH. That's what it is. And yeah, there you go. And again, this one's looking pretty good right there. You might want to keep an eye on that one for tomorrow. That could be popping. It looks as good as ORIS right here. So both of them are trying to set up at the moment. So keep an eye on both of them guys in the morning. And we'll obviously be on at 7 a.m. to cover everything else and see what else is happening in the morning. How the SPY looks, Mag 7, crypto, and everybody else right there. Looks like our Blue Jays game is over. And I'm going to bet that they won it is what did they win? 13-4. So there you go. The series is 2-1. Seattle still leading the series. And them guys will be playing tomorrow night again. So we'll get to keep an eye on that game. And the Dodgers and Brewers are at 6 o'clock tomorrow, 6:08. So Doge Mama 9. We'll be watching that, and we'll tune in at the very end. I'll keep you guys updated on the games as well. And I think there's a football game on tomorrow. But there you go, everyone. We'll be on at 7 a.m. And we'll cover the market to see what's going on as earnings season's heating up. And again, that TSM will be pretty early. So if you guys want to get up and listen to that, they are over in Taiwan. So they generally have their earnings calls pretty early in the morning right there. So we should wake up to that one. And there you go, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Any questions, be sure to hit me up on X. Make sure you follow along on YouTube, X, Instagram, all that good stuff, and like the show on your way out. We'll be on at 7 a.m. to cover the market and see what's going on. So enjoy the rest of your night, everybody, and we'll see you in the morning. Have a good night, and I'll see you at 7 a.m.